Are you guys here? Can you guys hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I got Ryan.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, that's good.
Yep.
Oh, there he is. What's up, guys?
Hello.
Hello. It looked like Ben was going to join us for a second, and then I guess he decided not to.
Echo.
Oh, just turn Discord or Cast down. I have Discord muted because all the audio feeds through Cast as well. You can do it through either one. While they're finagling with their audio, though, you guys will notice on my left, your left as well, we have a guest on the show who's never been on the show, and he's waving. This is Almighty Zing. What's up, Zing?
Not too much. Excited to be here.
Hell yeah, dude. Glad to have you on. It's been too long since we finally had you on for the first time. If you guys recognize the name Almighty Zing, it's because he wrote a film year in review for 2019 that we posted a couple weeks ago. He's working on his January 2020 review, he said to me recently.
Yep, that's almost done.
All right. I mean, it's okay. There's no rush. January's not even over yet, dude. You're fine.
Well, I'm out of movies to see, though, so...
Sure. Well, how's everybody's week been before we get into the nitty gritty? Because we are going to do something special this episode. But before we get into that, how's everybody been this week?
Pretty good on my side. Just work, but been playing a lot of Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Played a little bit of the Disintegration beta yesterday. And yeah.
Is Kakarot any good?
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it, yeah. I'm
Okay.
25 hours in, and I'm just getting to Cell, so...
Damn, so it's beefy. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've had people at the old lame stop like bringing it back, because they're like, it's not Budokai, because they think it was just a fighting game.
Oh yeah, no.
And then they realize they have to do like quests and shit, and they're like, wait, this is stupid. How deep is it? Is it like actual RPG deep? Like you've got a skill tree and shit, or is it?
Yeah, there's skill trees. Some of it you actually have to do fighting to actually learn like the different beefed up moves, like the Super Kamehameha instead of the regular one. There's a lot of side quests and filler in there. I think I spent 3 different streams just doing filler before the androids. So there's everything in there, including learning to drive and everything. So it's a lot of stuff in there, and a lot of side characters that actually don't show up in Z, but they're like throwbacks to Dragon Ball.
Interesting.
So it's cool to see.
Yeah, that's a lot deeper than I thought it would be. And when I saw the initial like trailers for that game, I was like, oh, it's gonna be a fighting game with like some cutscenes in between fights. But no, it's when it got towards release, I saw more trailers and it showed like actually flying around what looked like an open world, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, it's semi. There's maybe a dozen or so different zones that are pretty large that you can fly around in.
Yeah, like little hub worlds instead of big open worlds. Interesting. I watched Dragon Ball Z on Toonami, but I never super got into it. I think I kind of stopped watching after Boo.
Well, that was the end of Z. It was after Boo. So
maybe I watched all of Z.
Yeah,
just
you
didn't realize
all
it.
of Z and skipped GT and
Skip GT.
Super's been really good.
Didn't watch Dragon Ball. What'd you say is pretty good?
Yeah, Super's good. You got to go back and watch Dragon Ball.
Yeah,
it's a lot. I would say it's better in terms of storyline and character progression. It's not all about powering up and
blowing shit up. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I know I gotta create presets, you turd. I didn't have Zing's name tag until like literally 5 minutes ago. And then I looked over to it and realized it might be a little small. It's fine. I'm not gonna adjust any more shit. Everything else was set. Is there anything I adjusted? Shut up, Zing. Or not Zing, sorry. Shut up, Panda. I don't like you. I do like you. I'm sorry. I miss you. Ryan, how's your week been, homie?
It's been good. I have no beard now.
Yeah, you look like a child again. Why'd you do it this time?
I don't know. I just I felt like
you never hold on. You never know.
No,
you do it and then you're like, I don't. Why did?
And then I walked outside and I was like, dude, it's cold. My face is cold now. I was like instant regret. I had to let the dog back in and I was like, oh god, it's like 20 degrees on my face. But yeah, it's been a pretty good week. Just been, unfortunately, my only thing is getting stuff done around the house because I don't work anymore because of my thumb. So,
You want
yeah,
to show it off to the people who don't know?
it's not a fun life.
Yeah.
A thumb life.
You're not having a lot of fun?
No.
Stupid. I love the dumb jokes. I love it. Excuse me while I rip into a cold one. Continue.
That's it, dude.
That's it.
Over here living life, hanging out with the baby, and
We have slipped into the dad gaming routine, I think. We're only playing Call of Duty and Rocket League. Like, we're not trying anything new. We're not getting any new games. We're like, fuck it. I'm just play Call of Duty for 3 hours every night and get pissed, and then switch to Rocket League and play 3 matches and get pissed and go to bed.
yep, that's the extent.
Yeah, for sure. My week has been, we keep wanting to like plan. I sit down and do a meeting for the NerdyBits crew to plan stuff out for the future, and it just, my schedule fucking slips away from me, and all of a sudden it's fucking Tuesday, and then I'm like, oh, I should text them about what we're going to talk about on Wednesday, and then Wednesday hits, and I'm like, oh, good old seat of the pants bullshit. So my week's just been kind of flying by, but I've got a couple days off. I got this weekend off, and I have a short day tomorrow, and we're gonna get the train back on the tracks. Right now it's kind of running through. Y'all seen Polar Express?
Nope.
It's been like a decade or two. Yeah.
Okay, well, there's a scene in Polar Express where the train is just swirling across ice, not on rails. That's how I feel right now. That's how my life feels. I'm just kind of like trying to figure it out.
Or the movie Unstoppable, where the train's like, is that what it's called?
Is the train unstoppable?
The train's like going out of control, but it has to take this turn at like 60 mile an hour, and it's a like fully loaded freight train, and it's like just balancing on the side wheels as it's going around this turn.
This does not happen in a movie.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Shoot. Who's the cop from Training Day?
Denzel Washington?
Yeah, he's in it.
Oh boy. All right. Not every movie you're in is perfect, I guess.
Unstoppable? I'll have to look that up.
It might
But
be.
continue.
No, you're good. You're good. So I said we are going to do something a little special this week, and I want to get into those details. So you'll notice Zing is here, and we've already brought this up. But Zing and I go see a lot of movies. Ryan does as well. But we've been trying to plan out this podcast, not even a new podcast, sorry, a special portion of Bounty Board called Cutscenes, where we talk about movies and give you an extra podcast a week whenever we get a chance to do it. And we have, it's been a couple weeks that we've been trying to figure it out. No, it's not even been a couple weeks, Zing. We've been talking about this since Rise of Skywalker came out.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so it's been some time since we've actually been able to nail it down. And because we were all thinking about it, might as well do it tonight. So this episode of Bounty Board's actually going to be the introductory episode of Cutscenes. And we're going to dive in deep to Rise of Skywalker, the three of us. And maybe if Eric finds the time to jump in, we'll add him. And if maybe Ben freezes up, he'll jump. I don't know. But it's going to be the three of us. We're going to just go with it being the three of us unless someone else shows up.
So from here on out, spoilers, everybody. So
Yes,
I know
thank
Dan
you.
probably hasn't seen it, or Dentonstein. We might need to put that in the Discord that that's what's going on tonight, so they don't tune in, unfortunately.
Yeah, 100%. Then we're going to get into all of the details. So if like you haven't seen it, you need to fly away. Little Jedi, fly away. Or if you don't care about I almost said stingers. If you don't care about spoilers, then fuck it, hang out with us. We're going to talk about all this shit in Rise of Skywalker. I don't know where to start about that. So, hold on. Panda, don't mute for a while. This whole episode's going to be about Star Wars. So, we'll see you later. He was like, let me mute for a while. Nah. Sorry, homie. This is all we're going to be doing today. Should I put spoilers like somewhere in the title?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to put that in the title and update it. TROS spoilers in all caps. Okay, that's now in the title. Why does it say this text may conflict with Twitch's moderation? Cutscenes is not a bad word. Why? Cool. All right. Apparently, cutscenes is a God. Twitch is just the best. Here we go, Mixer. Boof. What did... Okay, in the chat, Panda said there are more movies with cutscenes other than Star Wars. We're talking about Star Wars tonight, guys. We're going to do that.
Yeah, the cutscenes is just the name.
Cutscenes is the title, homie.
Yeah, it's not that we're just...
Cutscenes aren't even in movies. those are in games.
Unless you're
Hideo Kojima.
yeah, then it's a game with that's the cutscene of the movie.
It's a movie with a game in it.
Yes, it's a movie with a game in it. Yes, that's what it is. I don't know where to start, guys. Like, Rise of Skywalker came out December 18th. I think critically, it's been pretty on average enjoyed. Critically, it's like a 60%, maybe 52. As far as fans go, it's a pretty solid like 80.
Yeah, somewhere in the 80s, yeah.
Yeah. What were your initial thoughts walking out of the theater? We'll start with that. How did you feel about this movie immediately?
I loved it personally. I was, there were some parts obviously that weren't quite there, but overall it was. It was a lot of fan service, but I'm a fan, so he was servicing me pretty well.
Yeah.
So, and that was the general vibe I got from the rest of the theater that I was in, is everyone really enjoyed, everyone's cheering and stuff as we're going along, and at the right moments, not people annoyingly talking through the movie, but, cheering when stuff needs to be cheered.
Zing had an experience with someone talking through a movie recently.
Yeah, me too.
Don't get me started on that. That can be a whole nother episode.
Yeah, that will be a whole other episode.
a theater etiquette episode.
Yeah, turn your phone off or get fucked. And basically, is going to be the title of that episode. Yeah. I once went to a screening where a guy opened up a tablet to check the time, an iPad, and the whole row behind him was like, "Dude," and he was like, "What?" He had no idea what was wrong with that. Some people just want to watch the world burn. I had to fight.
Yeah, the first time I saw Rise of Skywalker, this guy in front of me kept checking his smartwatch. I was about to throw something at him.
Yo, put it on. It's got a theater mode so that it doesn't light up. Fuck off, bud. Fuck off. Turn off your phone or get fucked. That's the byline, the subtitle to cutscenes.
Right.
Turn off your phone, get fucked.
So I really enjoyed it. What about you, Ryan?
I liked it a lot. I'm more of I don't dig too deep into a bunch of stuff. Like, I don't compare movie to movie, like some people do, and I just kind of enjoy the movie that's right in front of me. I know it had its ups and downs, and it felt like I can get where people are saying like it's two movies in one, but at the same time, like, we're getting to the point where, like, if they would have made two movies, then we would have been waiting another couple years for like the next one, and I feel like Star Wars is getting to its end, at least for this set, this piece of I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Sure.
For where it's at as of right now. So like I don't feel like another movie would have been needed. So I get the whole two together, speeding up the time frame to make it work.
Yeah, I'm excited about the idea that there might be a J.J. Abrams director's cut that's got 50 minutes more footage on it, because I need that. Ryan, you're coming through quiet again, apparently, to people.
Am I?
Yeah. You sound a little quieter to me, for sure, but I don't know. Eat it.
Shit,
just Kylo ran that microphone.
Okay.
Panda, I'm sorry, dude. We're going to talk about games again next week, but we're talking about Star Wars this week. I left the theater happy, not thrilled, if that makes sense. Like, I walked out and was like, all right, that was an all right movie. It was complemented by the fact that I was with like most of my family. And so like I got to see my dad's reaction to the credits rolling, and that emotion on his face was like, damn, this is real for him. Because like he went to the first one in theaters. And so the Skywalker Saga coming to an end was a big deal. But yeah, I liked almost all of it. I remember like 30 minutes into it being like, oh my fucking god, this movie moves a lot.
Yeah.
But it tamed down. It tamed down and seemed to go in a pretty straight direction. But yeah, I liked it. Here's the second question, the follow-up question to that. How did you feel like a week later?
I think that's about the same. I mean, I do get the whole it felt rushed thing and the pacing issues, but other than that, I mean, technically there were some issues, but as far as the storyline and how it all resolved, I can't complain too much personally. So
Okay.
I was certainly just as excited to see it the second time as the first.
Sure. Same here. I want to see it as many times as I can before it's gone. Ryan, has your opinion changed or diversified? Not even diversified, but like adjusted at all since seeing it?
No, I still follow up with whatever I said in the beginning whenever I messaged you guys in the Discord after seeing it. Like, I thought it was incredible. I mean, I'm not a huge movie critic or anything like that, so I just kind of watch the movies, enjoy what I like.
Sure.
But yeah, I even watching it a second time, being able to go back through and see the things that I slightly missed or trying to debunk a bunch of stuff that people said, because like with you said that one of your friends, or you saw somewhere that
someone said that
Yoda was helping Luke lift the X-wing up out of the water, and as soon as that episode or that scene started, I sat up and started looking around like, nope, I'm looking, I'm making sure, nope, no Yoda. Okay, cool, we're good. I can tell Caleb that's not a real thing. like I don't know, I really enjoyed it a lot, and I would not change my answer for anything.
Yo, how did Yoda not show up in this movie? How did Yoda not show? Anyway, after
bring the old Yoda out.
What?
I didn't enjoy it.
You didn't like old Yoda in Last Jedi?
No, like
it was such a callback, dude.
No. I get that, but like, oh man, with as good as film is right now, like, why are we?
Because he looked like he did when he died, not like he did when CG was good.
I thought I remembered seeing that they initially had all of the Force Ghosts in this movie, but that got cut. That scene didn't quite make it in, so I'm sure we'll see that in either an extended cut or a deleted scene somewhere on the physical release.
How did a scene with all the Force Ghosts not make it in? It makes me so sad. So a week after the movie, after seeing it the first time, I did sort of, I don't want to say sour. I didn't sour on it, but it's not my favorite anymore. But we'll get into that. Again, Star Wars spoilers for anybody who's just tuning in. I threw that in the chat. I threw that in the title. It's in the header. I think we're
probably just put Star Wars spoilers, because I don't think TROS is going to help anybody figure out what the hell's going on.
Most people are going to know what that is, but I'll adjust it. I had to take cutscenes out of the little email Go Live notification because it thought cutscenes was a bad word. They wouldn't let me update it. So cutscenes is still in the title, so that's fine. I don't give a shit. Okay, it says Star Wars now, and it's updated, so nobody can get it mixed up.
Join in. We're talking about like the old 80s movies. Spoilers.
We're talking about a holiday special tonight.
Yeah, we're talking about the old Ewok fucking movie. Yikes. Okay, so I guess we just kind of run through the events of the film if we want. Okay, here's the thing. Here's my first gripe. Why was the Emperor in the trailer? Like, why did we know he was going to be a thing before I sat down in the movie? Because to me, getting to that movie and then it dropping on me and being like, oh, fuck, would have been a big deal.
Wait, so, like, I didn't watch the trailer because I didn't want any lead up to it. So,
okay.
Like, was his voice in it or him physically?
Just him laughing, pretty much.
Him laughing. And then there's a TV spot. There's a TV spot that came out right before the movie that said, I have been every voice. And it was the quote where he says, I've been every voice. And he said, you hear Darth Vader say, in your head. And then you hear Snoke say the whole time.
Yeah, that's dumb.
And then the opening scroll. The opening scroll is the dead live or something like that. And then it talks about the Emperor. Why didn't they
Right.
just say, like, why didn't they leave that stuff out of the commercials? And then in the opening scroll be like, a transmission from the dark reaches of space has happened. And then Kylo goes in and meets him. Like, I felt like the whole Emperor thing was like, hey guys, we're going to make up for the last movie that so many people hated for some reason.
So I had a similar gripe, but slightly different. I was more pissed that that whole broadcast happened in the scroll and not actually on film. Like that would have been a great way to end The Last Jedi. Just like leave that as a cliffhanger and that
For sure.
instead of just, having it happen off screen. I think that was my biggest Emperor reveal gripe.
You know what's funny is it didn't happen off screen. It did happen on screen. It was just a different screen. Do you know where the message happened?
In the trailer?
No.
Or
Fucking Fortnite.
oh yeah. Well that I classify that as a trailer.
Sure. But the Fortnite Star Wars event had that transmission. That was the Emperor calling for the rise of the final order. The final order.
Strike me down.
Yeah. Strike me down. So weird. So weird. Fortnite? Fucking really? Come on. I mean, I guess there's hundreds of millions of people that play Fortnite. Or maybe 100 million. There's a lot of people that play Fortnite, so fuck it.
I mean, how many people showed up just to watch a black hole? I mean,
Hey man, that shit was dope. Hey man, that shit was dope. It was cooler when it ended, but like it was the idea that the biggest game in the world would just shut down for 36 hours. People would just be staring at a screen forever. That's such a power move. Only Fortnite would have the ability to do that. I guess we'll keep it on topic with the Emperor. How do y'all feel about the Emperor being the bad guy in this movie? Both of you groaned, so this is interesting. This will be a conversation.
it was fine.
Fine.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
It felt like a cop out. Like they had an idea for something, but it didn't pan out. So they're like, Emperor, sure. It didn't feel like that was the way they were going with the first two films. It just kind of happened.
Yeah.
But I mean, the way that it handled it, it made sense, I guess, lore-wise. So I just kind of accept it.
Yeah, the lore makes sense, but like Kylo is on a fucking power trip in
Yeah.
the beginning of that movie, and he just walks in. The Emperor's like,
I'm in charge now.
he's like, okay, and he like agrees. Like, you bring me the girl, and you'll be me. Like, no, what? That doesn't make no. Like,
Yeah.
like you were literally ready to just murder him right then and there, and you're just like, I'll just take orders again. Why not? Like, I guess I'm not as good as my grandfather. Like, what?
Yeah.
Like you little bitch. Like, come on, man. Just fucking stand up for yourself.
Oh, dude, and like the fact that he was walking around with the Kylos of Ren, with the Knights of Ren,
And
and like,
nothing.
imagine if Kylo had just been the bad guy, and the Knights of Ren were the people that Rey and the group were fighting until they got to him, and we would have gotten to see those dudes who looked badass actually be badass. But it's whatever.
You just seen them in like scenes here and there, like peeking around the corner. We see them. Like,
Yeah,
They were kind of like the Boba Fett's of this trilogy. Like they're so hyped up, everybody's like, "Oh, I can't wait to see more Knights of Ren," and then they just show up and
he at
just
least
die
died
instantly.
by a worm. Like, he died in a
I mean,
cool way.
when Kylo snapped and killed them all was dope, but it was also like, y'all,
They weren't
Did-
even that good.
did y'all just learn how to fight everybody but your boss? Like, what
Yeah.
the fuck? But though, like, Kylo like blocks a lightsaber blocks a hit with his lightsaber behind his back,
He goes,
and he goes,
like, like, oh. Yeah. I don't like the red guards that were around Snoke and like that were around the Emperor.
Yes.
were so good.
They were so dope.
And like Kylo had to try.
Yeah.
And then the Knights of Ren, which are supposed to be Kylo's like number twos, like, where you at, dude? Like, you ain't killing anybody.
And he pulled a lightsaber out, and they backed up like, what is that? I've never seen one of those. I know they were reacting to the fact that he didn't have one, but still.
Yeah.
And then he just pieced him up.
Mhm.
It's just like you, and then you, and then you, and then you.
He whooped them all in 60 seconds.
Yeah. And here I was thinking I was going to see these fucking badasses act as the scourge of the universe, just like destroying shit. And instead they just stand and look at you like, that's really it. Yeah, I dislike the Emperor as the bad guy. I think I agree with Zing in that I felt like a cop-out. And I agree with Ryan in that, like, when he was like, no, I'm in charge. Like, Kylo just fucking killed his last boss and got super pissed off at the end of the last movie, and then has been on this fucking war path to find this thing, and then gets there, and this guy's like, nah, you second bitch now.
That and the Emperor's on life support when he finds him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, he doesn't even have full fingers. Like,
Yeah, I know. Can you really use the Force without all your fingers?
I don't, apparently not.
Well, you can use the Force if you're a ghost, so why not?
Yeah. That's true. That's true. Tech in the chat says the Kylo shrug was amazing. Yes, when he pulls the lightsaber out, and then like, we gonna go? Like, that was super good. Super good. There's countless TikToks of that scene, and it's very good. There's also one of like that scene with it's like a mashup of him running to save Rey with like a cheesy romantic song. And he's like running in the songs. It's funny as shit. Sweater boyfriend Kylo at the end. No. I'm okay with that. It's super cheesy and super millennial, but like, fuck, man, I'm down.
The kiss at the end made no sense.
Oh my god, we're just jumping the shark all the way to the end.
It's okay. We're gonna bounce around.
Spoilers,
dude. I kind of get it, but like, because she said, I wanted to take your hand, but as Ben, like, I want to take Ben's hand, and like, I get that. So like, okay, I can feel like there's a little bit of a connection here, but like, oh, you just changed? Thank God.
It would have been better if she said, I love you, and he'd said, I know. I would have been like, and then he would have died, and then I would have just...
Han did it.
Huh?
Han did it.
Han did what?
He did exactly that. Kylo was like, I don't know if I have the strength. And then after that, he's like, Dad?
And he said, I know.
Paused, and then, then Han was like, I know. Like, they did it without actually saying, like, I love you.
Yes,
but I was like, thank God they did it, because they missed the chance with Leia.
So what? Speaking of moments that made me a bowl of bubbly soup. What moments got to you guys the most in Rise of Skywalker? I know a couple are going to be universal. If not, you're a sociopath, and I'm going to report you to the services. What moments like really got you though?
When Chewie found out about Leia.
It's so rough, man.
I teared up.
It's so rough.
It's so real though.
Yes.
Like, there's nothing you can do. It's not like you can like in that moment. It's like you can't run to the person and like be by their side. It's just like he just gets down on his hands, his knees, and like pounding on the ground. Like, it's it. It's all you got. And like,
yeah, and it's like everyone that he knew is gone now. Han's gone. Luke's gone. Leia's gone. Like, who does Chewie have?
He's got Lando.
He's got Lando now, sure. But if Solo's any indication, he and Lando aren't exactly good friends.
Yeah.
Fucking Chewie saw them all go, and then he was.
And then he was. How old he is?
He's about 300 years old, I think.
So, man, all of the life he's lived, and like the main people, they're all gone.
Yeah.
So that's a little less than a third of his life. Yeah, it's not insignificant.
Fuck, man. How long did Wookiees live? 900 years?
Yeah.
It's
at least,
pretty long.
Around that, I think.
That's bananas. I thought
600 or 700. I think. I don't know. That's probably on the wiki somewhere.
Yeah, sure. Man. Okay, so that fucked me up. But the scene that follows it, which was the one we were just talking about, like
400 years.
Okay. So he's getting up there. And everyone around him, it's so depressing, dude. I just want Chewie to have a family, and he's given up that to be fighting with these people and making friends with these people, and now they're all gone. And I mean, he's still got
He's
Wait.
234 years old.
Okay, so he's got some time. He's got a whole. He's past the midlife crisis now. He's gonna move on, and like get a nice summer home on Kashyyyk, and spend his days hunting spiders and making coffee with a female Wookiee. I like it. That's my headcanon.
So the holiday special.
Yes, yes. Every
So
Star
you're
Wars
saying that
character
takes place-
retires into. Yes, it takes place in the future. Every Star Wars character retires into the holiday special.
Christmas sweater. Like, what the fuck?
Chewie doesn't get a Christmas sweater. He just decorates his fur to make it look like he's wearing a Christmas sweater.
There's a bunch of bows all.
A bunch of bows and lights like interwoven into his fur.
Oh Jesus.
He replaces his bandolier with a garland. It's perfect. That's how Chewie's life goes. No, the scene that was immediately following that is what fucked me up, because it cuts from Chewie like in shock, right? Like not just like, oh my god, shock, like probably physical shock from the loss of Leia, to the back of Kylo's head as he's staring off into the distance, and you hear Han just go, "Hey kiddo."
Oh yeah.
Fuck. I was like, that was it. That was it. It destroyed me.
Why didn't he have a blue glowy orb around him? I know it's just the Force, and he.
Because he wasn't
It was
technically
a memory.
Yeah, he's a memory.
He's
not
still a
a-
freaking. Well,
No.
can you have that memory though?
Zing just said no.
It's not like a memory is something that you remember. That's.
Well, no, he's like interacting with the memory of his. He's interacting with the memory of his dad. He's projecting the memory of his dad. Force, like Han wasn't a Force user, so he wouldn't have had a Force ghost.
That's true.
I don't believe in luck.
So Kylo's talking to himself in that situation. He's not actually talking to Han. It's like an inner monologue, inner dialogue between, basically between Kylo and Ben at that point.
Right.
That's how I felt.
So he convinces himself to turn to the good side.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, with the memory and teachings of his dad. Oh my god, fucking Leia dying, and her death reaching out to Kylo and it distracting Kylo, and then Rey fucking gutting him. Like, ooh, window, stabs him, and then she realizes that Leia's dead.
Right.
Fuck, that scene's so well orchestrated.
Yeah,
Really?
Anytime one of the Force users kind of senses a death, this happened again in The Force Awakens when Leia felt Han's death. That hit me as well.
Yeah.
Anytime that they realize and they're like, oh shit.
Yeah, and it happens later with Finn.
Yeah.
Finn feels a couple people go.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll get to that whole. You're dead. No, now you're dead. No, you get a death. Now you get a death.
Yeah.
Everyone gets a death. Stupid. Oh man. So they go. Okay. So back to the events of the movie, I guess. Right. Opens up with Kylo on Mustafar.
Yep.
Maybe, but I didn't think there were trees on Mustafar. But
It's a different part of it. He's actually at Vader's castle.
yeah.
That they showed in Rogue One.
Yep.
He's in the courtyard of that fighting a bunch of Vader cultists.
That's nuts. Would have been great to get a little more of that.
Yeah, that's all from that the book, the visual dictionary thing.
It's like by himself too, and fucked all those people up.
Yeah, he's got
Right.
he's got some troopers behind him, but he's mostly just fucking them up.
Did he have the Knights of Ren with him, or was that just him? I don't remember.
I thought I saw stormtroopers in the background, but I don't know if I saw the knights.
Yeah, dude, they're probably
yeah, I don't know.
in trees, like looking for people with binoculars.
I love how we could probably make this podcast also about the Mandalorian, because I love how the Mandalorian like explains why stormtroopers are shitty at shooting by making their guns just really fucking inaccurate. The guy's sitting there shooting at a thing 3 feet away, and it's like, you. He's like, what's wrong with this thing? I love it. They just have shitty guns, guys. That's why they suck at aiming. Also, I saw someone pointed out that if Finn's gonna shoot at something, he has to shoot it twice. The first bullet misses, and the second one hits. Like he has to zone his gun.
The thing is, Chewbacca picks up one of the stormtrooper guns and literally just goes poof and instantly shoots a guy one tap.
Was it
So-
close range though?
No, it was like, I don't know, a good 30 feet, 40 feet.
All right. Maybe
like,
maybe it is user error.
Really bad. Chewie's like, and boop, that one. Okay.
What's the acronym for problem in chair, not in computer or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
PEBCAC. Problem exists between chair and keyboard.
Yes. Yes. Okay, so the movie opens with fucking Kylo fucking shit up and getting the Sith Wayfinder, which is one of my favorite transitions in the whole movie.
Mm-hmm.
The transition of him looking into the Wayfinder and seeing the thing move and then it becoming his ship. Man, that's a really good transition. Like, well fucking done.
Seeing the ship like navigate through the storm.
Yeah, going through the like tunnels and shit. Yeah. We have a scene of Finn and Poe and I'm sure other people that have names that I just don't know in the Millennium Falcon getting information from an ice colony.
Yeah.
It's not a planet. It's like an ice thing. And then they do some fucking okay. So I understand Last Jedi threw a wrench into this a little bit with the fact that the First Order has developed technology that traces you through hyperspace, which I don't know why that's so weird. Most space things are like, if you jump into hyperspace, you leave a fucking wake. You leave a trail that at least gives you a direction. I guess homing to the exact thing is weird, but whatever. The Millennium Falcon goes on this hyperspeed skipping trip, which we've never seen before, but no one seems to have huge complaints about it. And I don't know if I have a huge complaint about it. It's just weird. And then Zing this week pointed out that one scene where it looks like they're flying through Bespin, the Cloud City, they're flying through like generators and shit. There's 2 Falcons.
Yeah, there's
it like
multiple.
rotates and like what is that? Is that like a quantum physics thing? Like because they're jumping the ships. Maybe this is just one universe, and there's an alternate universe where the Falcon did something different, and the whole movie's different.
Yeah, I had to double check to make sure that wasn't just a reflection, but the Falcon is kind of reflected, but the 2 TIE fighters that are following him are not. So it definitely is 2 of them.
I wonder if
I didn't notice that the first time I watched it. It was only the second time. I was like, oh wait, show that again.
Yeah,
I mean,
run that back.
Only one Falcon. I guarantee. Like it's like. Like, they didn't make just one ship. They don't make one kind of car.
Right, but there's no way they'd hyper jump into a place and the other one be flying with it in the same pattern. He's like, law of numbers says eventually it's possible. Law of large numbers.
I don't get how these TIE fighters are so advanced in that tiny ship to do everything that the Millennium Falcon can do.
That's also weird. Why are dogfighting TIE fighters retrofitted with hyperspace drives, and where the fuck does it fit?
And how can it do more than the Falcon? The Falcon literally almost combusted.
I understand the
come on.
I understand the battle toughness and like maneuverability of a TIE fighter being better than the Falcon because the Falcon's like a cargo ship, but the hyperspace jumping and being able to do that better is weird.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I mean, the Falcon is also old, and those probably just rolled off the assembly line.
This is also super true. The Falcon's like 100 years old.
And they're using spare parts that they keep finding places, and the TIE fighters are getting new parts.
Can we talk a second about how convenient it is they can fix the Falcon no matter where the fuck they are? They're always like, we got the part. And if not, there's one right there. Cool.
Right.
They use an Imperial part to fix the Falcon. It's like, how does that even work?
How does an Imperial part from 100 years after the Falcon's manufacture date be exactly what you need?
Yeah, let me take this starter from my Mustang and put it in a Honda. Like, what the fuck? It doesn't work that way.
Yeah. I bet the spark plugs for this fucking Bugatti are going to work in this Civic. Nope. Whatever. That's fine. That's like the Disney touch, I think, because there's even shit in Marvel movies where you're just like, hold on, what? But you move past it because the rest of the movie is more fun than like finding continuity plot holes.
In terms of how they fit it in there, you gotta take a look at what the Empire and the First Order are doing with other technology. I mean, it took an entire space station to get a planet-killing weapon, and in this one, They just got them strapped on underneath each of the Star Destroyers.
Yeah, they're hanging from Star Destroyers like truck nuts.
They're shrinking it all. We're not in a server room of computers here. We got this little desktop. It's times have changed.
Yeah, sure. And so, yeah, I guess that makes sense. I was, like I said, I wasn't as incensed by that as I'm making it sound right now. It's just fun to laugh about it.
Yeah.
So after, what's up? Someone's about to say something.
I think somebody pointed out that Han had at one point said that that hyper skipping they shouldn't be doing that. I don't remember if that was early in this trilogy or previously, but I did see somebody.
Wait, he did bring it up?
That. Yeah, he had brought it up at some point.
Okay.
And said
if he brought it up at some point,
then
then that makes me feel a lot different about it.
Yeah, I'd need to find that.
Yeah, I'm not sure where that happened. I know he was talking about dropping at a hyperspeed whenever he was on Planet Killer Base.
Planet what? Star Killer Base?
Star Killer Base, whatever.
Sorry, Planet Killer Base. I thought you were describing it as the planet, and it was called Killer Base. And I was like, no, you meant Planet Killer Base, not Star Killer Base.
Yeah.
My brain was like, it's not. I'm on Planet
I know he was talking
Killer
about
Base.
jumping out of hyperspace that close to get past the force fields, but I don't remember anything else.
Oh, that scene was dope too when they like come out of hyperspace in atmosphere. Oh.
Okay, so here it is. In episode 4,
What?
Han makes a comment about not wanting to go through a black hole in hyperspace because the ship still interacts with regular space as you're going through it. That's why they have the hyperspace lanes that you're supposed to fly through. So you don't blow through a planet or a ship like in Last Jedi.
Right.
So that's why he was saying not to do it, because you don't know if you're going to run into something on the way.
Yeah, okay.
It's all based on line of sight, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to like plot. All right, we're going to jump here and here and here and hope there's no geese when we come out, because we will just fucking turn them into goose paste. Okay, so they run back to what's the planet that the rebels are hiding on? What's it called?
We're on top of it, boys.
We are. Ochi? No, Ochi's the name of the Sith hunter or Jedi, the Sith Jedi hunter. I don't remember the name of that planet. It may not be super important.
No.
So anyway, they go back to that planet with the information, the intel they get from those guys, and it proves without a doubt that the Emperor is still alive. And they're like, oh shit. And they have to figure out where he's from. And is it C-3PO? Or R2? That's like, hey, there's like Luke was looking for, maybe it was Leia. Leia was like, Luke was looking for Exegol. And he stopped at this planet, Pazana? And she's like, yeah.
It was Rey that was saying all this. Because she had read all of his diaries.
Oh shit, you're right. Rey pulls the books out. Yeah. And she's like, hey, he was looking and he stopped at Pazana. We got to go there. So the whole motley crew, Finn, Poe, Rey, C-3PO, Chewie. For some reason, R2-D2 doesn't travel anymore. I don't know why.
I don't think he wanted to leave Leia's side. I feel like...
No, maybe. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. So they all head to Pazana, which is the super dope... It's Burning Man for aliens. They show up on a planet and there's like color bombs and drugs. No, there's no drugs. There's color bombs and aliens in fancy color clothing, and they're all hanging out and playing music and setting shit on fire.
C-3PO is so excited.
C-3PO's
like,
uptight.
Great, it is great. Like he's.
Man, so I don't remember how they run into Lando. They run into Lando though. God, there's so much just convenient shit that happens in Star Wars.
And quick thing about the festival that they're at, they said it happens every 42 years, and at the time that it came out in 2019, A New Hope had come out 42 years ago in 1977. So it's a deep cut.
Deep cut. Real deep cut. So when Luke went there, it was not during the festival.
That's
I
a
don't
very
think Luke ever went to Pisana.
They said that's where his search ended.
yeah.
He
Yeah,
lost.
but that
He
was
lost.
after Last Jedi, which was later on.
Well, then,
Because he didn't go searching for them until after Last Jedi, which was, what, a couple of years?
well, Luke didn't go searching on
Right.
Pisana after Last Jedi. He would have had to go after Empire, or not Empire, but Return of the Jedi, right? When he was younger.
Yeah. He did it like a long time ago.
That's what I took from it. Is that like Luke had went?
It was still after.
Before he trained like the new ones and Kylo turned bad. Like he did it before then because then he secluded himself. So it was before, I think all of the new set of movies.
Correct. It was still young Luke, but it was after Return of the Jedi.
Yes, yeah. You were saying Last Jedi. That's why I was
Oh,
confused. I was like, he couldn't have. He died. I was like, what's happening? No, you're good. So yeah, he didn't get to hang out on the sweet party planet that is Pisana. He got to hang out on the desert, rocky planet that is Pisana. So they get there and like, some shit happens when they're looking for it, and Kylo does his Force Bridge thing with Rey, which, guys. In Last Jedi, he straight up says, I knew it couldn't have been you who was doing this. It would kill you. When they do their little Force Bridge moment. And Snoke and Luke die then. But they're still doing it. So is Kylo stronger and now he's doing it?
Well, I think it's implied that the Emperor was the one controlling that whole thing from the beginning.
Oh, sure. He's the powerful one. Okay, so he does his little bridge thing. And for the first time, we see actual physical manifestation, like, between those two places. Like, they are actually in the same place as each other. Because he like, snatches at Rey real quick and grabs the necklace from around her neck that a kid just put over her head. And he suddenly has beads from Pisana. And so he takes him to the science lab. And they're like, you gotta go here.
Same place.
Huh?
They're never in the same place.
No, but they're physically occupying like a similar space where they can touch each other.
Wearing something, yeah.
Yeah, they can actually touch each other.
In his mind, because he was in his quarters or whatever, she is standing in his room, and then in her mind, he's standing on the planet with her. But
Right.
they can't see what's around each other.
But somehow their bodies are like in the same place.
Yeah.
Not physically, but like in this weird force dimension.
Yeah.
Because he steals he snatches the necklace off of her neck. Takes it to the science lab. The nerds are like, they're on Pisana. That's not what they sound like. But somehow, he steals this from her, and then they show up like minutes later.
Well, you got to think that they're always on every planet.
You think that the Empire was just deployed there too?
They're on every planet.
Well, when they got there, they said that there were probably some First Order people like lurking within the crowd.
That's true. They did say that they needed to blend
Already got
in.
people there, and it's just the hyper jump away.
Yeah. So he mounts up with the Knights of Ren, the McNugget, the Kylo McNuggets, and they head towards there. I'm gonna call them that from now on. The McKnights of Ren.
Somebody needs to Photoshop like the Hamburglar in there with them.
Yes. Kylo's McKnights. So they head off, and then we go back to Pisana. And then possibly one of the weirdest and like least convincing story bits happens on this planet to me. They're all there trying to find something, right? They don't fucking know. And then they find out that Luke was hunting some Jedi hunter. And that's cool. They find it on accident, running away from stormtroopers that aren't on hovering vehicles. They have treads. Why? Like, why? Okay, that's fine. They have speeders, but they're on treads. And the guy in the back has a jetpack.
Dude, I love how they launch them.
It's cool, but like, do they need it though?
They got to sell more toys.
Yeah. Got to create one more thing to sell for sure. So they
selling Lando's jank little 2 mile an hour like roller that he's got going on that planet.
yeah, that thing.
He's
Oh, and the alien in the front when he's like go and he's like why are Star Wars puppets so incredible? I love them all. So yeah, they get attacked, and then they find it's so much happens. I'm sorry.
They know where to go.
They know they need to go there, and they need to find a place. They get seen. They get pulled into some ship to hide by a dude who takes off his mask, and it's fucking Lando. Convenient. And then he's like, y'all gotta find this ship of this dude that's out there, and like points. And then they go steal speeders and zip off. And there's a chase ensues with tread troopers with jetpacks in them. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I liked that they were trying to do Mad Max. I disliked that they didn't try to do Mad Max hard enough. Like there's color bombs, y'all. Like there's color bombs, and it's a big it's Mad Max. J.J. Abrams was like, man, I like that Mad Max movie. What if I made a Star Wars version? One jet trooper fucking meets a horrible fate as he fucking catapults into a rock wall and explodes. So that's cool. That guy's toothpaste. They throw a chain around the tread of the other one, and that fucks it up, but doesn't fuck them up. That's fine.
Yeah, the cable's still attached when it blows up.
They've got plot armor. It's fine.
They've got plot armor. They're invincible. Like they're spinning 180 degrees, and like Finn, who's not holding anything, is like, woo! And I'm like, no, dude, you're getting chucked out of that thing because it's fucking rotating. It's fine.
Speaking of, Finn's standing on top of the Millennium Falcon at the end and doesn't fall off when they turn upside down.
What?
We'll get to that later.
Okay. Oh my god, that does happen.
I think it's assumed that he goes in that top hatch first.
He climbs in the top hatch before they go.
They literally fly away as soon as they hop on. He's like,
maybe they hop just straight like divers. They just whoop right into the hatch. So anyway, they get away. The moral of the story is they get away, and they all end up in the same place. And then they all crash pretty horrifically, and everyone's fine. they crash and go flying, and then they start sinking through not quicksand because it's not wet. It seems like it's just rocks that have a vacuum underneath them. Mm-hmm. So they're just sinking, and then Finn says, "Ray, I never got to tell you." He was gonna say that I love you. Don't listen to anybody else. But also, the movie literally never comes back to that. So that's cool. So anyway, long story short, they go through this ridiculous series of events and then end up just in the perfect place when the trail goes cold, sink underground and find the ship of Ochi, this Jedi hunter underground. No, wait, that's not true. They found the ship above ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ship's above ground, but his car, his
getaway vehicle.
Yeah.
Wait, how do they get to the getaway? Do they get to the ship after the getaway vehicle?
Yeah.
Okay.
They get to the getaway vehicle, and then they try to find the way out, and they find the big worm.
Yes, and then the reason why Mandalorian was important and why they released the episode right before the movie is because
I haven't seen that episode yet.
Oh no.
That's fine. You can.
Okay, so someone gets hurt real bad in a moment that Star Wars likes to steal from other movies. In a pitch black moment, in Star Wars, some things attack people at night, and a dude gets like badly wounded, and Baby Yoda reaches out and heals him. Mm-hmm. In that episode, specifically before the movie came out, and I remember Tech seeing the movie just before us and being like, I know why Mandalorian put an episode out first. And I remember watching Mandalorian and being like, why the fuck is this important? Nothing in this episode seems important. And then Rey heals the creature that's wounded. And you're like, oh, so they just wanted to throw in there that Jedi can heal people.
Well, they didn't need to. Because it all makes sense if she's the granddaughter of the Sith. There are Sith Lords out there that could bring people back to life and heal.
Yeah, well,
So
Plagueis,
the
right?
line was already there from Palpatine talking to Anakin.
Yeah,
The first set of movies.
yeah, even greater than death or whatever he says.
Yeah, he said there was like 2 Sith Lords that were able to bring people back to life. Or
Yeah, it was oh puppy. It was Sidious. It was the Emperor's teacher. Who what's his name? Is it Plagueis?
Yeah, he was Plagueis' apprentice. Yeah.
Okay. The original script of this movie named him Tor Valum, which is different. Which is why I was confused. And then Palpatine. Those were the 2. Which is arguably why Palpatine's still alive. Though they never get into that, and it would have been great if they did. Hey, I had a clone of myself, and when I died, my spirit jumped into my clone body. But if you jumped into a clone body, why you look like shit, homie? So, like, did you just make a shitty clone? Or did you survive somehow exploding in the Death Star twice? Anyway, that's not important.
The escape pod was down there.
He falls into the tube and it goes... Like, was that his escape pod taking off?
That was the thrusters from the escape pod.
Oh, man. Like, he just screamed to make it seem like he was scared, but he was really like...
It's all coming together.
Yes, he did it. He struck me down. Okay, so this is the fastest part of the movie. The rest of the movie is like super chill. They find some shit underground, and then they get out. The worm cracks a hole in the underground cavern, and they're able to get out. They find Ochi's ship, and then on Ochi's ship, they find a blade.
The blade was in the cave.
It was in the cave.
Fuck off! It was.
I even said that, and you just kind of...
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
And then the whole C-3PO thing about he can read it, but he can't say it.
Can't say it.
We need a reason to continue this plot line and have him not go straight there. So
yeah, I know exactly what it says. Oh well, then tell us. I can't read it, or I can't see. Yeah.
What if he like written it? Could they have gotten him to write it down?
No, because I don't think he's supposed to translate it at all. So
Yeah.
writing it down.
So why did they program him to translate it? Anyway, why did they program him? Fucking Anakin programmed him. Anakin,
that's a droid, like kind of like a.
is it like a factory settings?
Yeah, it's
like
Anakin found it.
It's
there.
droid code. Nah, Anakin, you stupid child, you built it wrong.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Read everything, but tell us nothing. So yeah, the C-3PO knows how to read it. They don't know how to get him to say it. And then Poe's like, I know this.
guy.
I know this little puppet that talks funny. They could do it. So they fly to Kijimi, which is a dope planet.
Dude, we're skipping stuff.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We
Sorry,
sure are.
we're not really skipping stuff because it's inconsequential.
In the moment, it's not inconsequential.
Okay, we'll argue about this because I was not convinced by this at all. So
Well-
there's an incredibly cool moment. So remember when I said the homie and his Sith McNuggets are flying into Bazana? They show up, and while they're doing shit in the ship, fucking someone goes for a walk or some shit for some reason.
Ray goes
Rey,
out
yeah.
because she gets a feeling of the Force that somebody is around. I think she just knows that Kylo's around.
Oh yeah, she goes out and Kylo's his X-wing flies
Yeah.
in, and she does that dope backflip, and somehow he survives. Plot armor. And then while she's distracted doing that, Chewie gets picked up by the Knights of Ren, and then I think Poe.
So
There's 2 craft there.
So yeah, what I think they did was really well. They actually have them like one's close and that's the one he's getting on, but the other one is kind of overlapped to where it looks like one ship. To where if you're not paying attention, you don't see the second one. And so what happens is that Chewie gets on, gets taken away, and they're like, Chewie's on the Finn goes, Chewie's on the ship. And
then Rey does the fucking incredible she reaches up and stops it in the air. Oh, so good. And then Ren has climbed out of his ship and is fighting now, playing tug of war with the ship in the air.
He's walking away like a badass, just like,
Yeah,
I just survived that shit.
you fucked up my TIE fighter, but I'm fine. And I want this one now. So they fight over for a minute, and then Rey becomes incensed by his resistance and fucking lightning bolts the thing to fucking death. Yeah, I don't know why my brain didn't immediately put together the plot twist that comes next when she just fucking and just blows the thing out of the fucking sky. That was incredible though. Yeah. But for some reason, that scene did not sell me at all on the fact that Chewie was dead.
Oh no, not at all.
Like it happens and you're like, oh fuck. And then there's not enough emotional shit that happens immediately. Like, if Chewie was going to die, the movie was going to take 5 minutes to make you feel bad about it. And it seems like they were like, oh no, and then left.
There are some...
They can't sit there and cry. Ren is literally right there, and there's still other people coming. Like, you can't just be like...
Yeah, but there's a way to capture despair in a chase. There's movies where people are running away after something bad's happened, and you can tell they're like... fucked up because of it. I just wasn't sold by this.
There are characters that you can get away with killing off screen. Chewie's not one of them. I mean, you can't kill him off screen.
Yeah, in a box and in a big burst of flame. But have no fear because they gather their shit and leave real quick. And do they take Ochi's ship?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a ship that hasn't flown in like 30 years, they just kick it on, right?
It's like, this thing is disgusting. It's like, yeah, it's been sitting in the desert, you dummy.
Yeah. And then as soon as they fly away, the next thing, isn't it almost the immediate next thing you see is Chewie getting offloaded onto the Star Destroyer?
Yeah. So they're like, we've brought back someone it's Ren.
Ren's talking to...
He's talking to one of the generals.
Yeah, the loyalists.
We brought somebody back of interest, or something back of interest. And then, like, it goes to the ship, and it's Chewie walking off. And
people in the theater, like, sighed in relief, and I was like, y'all, he wasn't fucking dead. Chill. Like, of course he wasn't dead. Yeah, so then they go to Kijimi. Sorry, I skipped that before. And Lando just kind of fucks off. Doesn't he say he's gonna go to the Resistance to help?
Yeah, I assume he's the one that takes the Falcon there.
He says.
Oh, good call, because they take off an Ochi ship.
Nope, he said send Leia my regards, and Rey says you need to tell her yourself, and then they tow the Millennium Falcon back to the ship.
Oh, that's right, because the Falcon's in the Star Destroyer.
Yeah, the TIE fighters tow the Millennium Falcon back.
Oh yeah.
Because apparently none of them know how to fly it back. It's weird.
That's a good.
Else can just walk into the Falcon and just.
Why don't they just fly it? Weird.
The guys are like, I don't know what this is.
That's a good point though. The ship's 100 years old. They probably don't know what the fuck it is. And the resistance is using old bumbly shit anyway. So when they get to Ochi's ship, they're like, it's made the same year as the Falcon.
The Millennium Falcon is a stick shift, and all of their stuff is an automatic. They don't know how to drive it.
Yeah, that's the perfect analogy. The Falcon's fucking stick shift. I love it so much. The Millennial Falcon. I mean, it was full of them. So anyway, yeah, the Falcon and Chewie are on the Star Destroyer. The rest of the crew go to Kijimi, which is a place that Poe knew of, and knew of the person on it that may be able to get into C-3PO's brain. So, y'all, Kijimi is not focused on enough.
No.
That planet's dope. Like, there's people on it that are resisting the Empire and being like, their doors are being kicked down and they're force conscripting kids and shit into the... Man, it's such a cool setting, and it looks like it's a mix of like Japanese pagoda and like old Aztec ruins. Like the architecture of that place is super dope, and it's covered in snow, and I love it. But we get to see the eyes of Kerry Russell, Zori Bliss, who I thought was a Mandalorian, but she's not. I thought initially she was, but nope. So anyway, they get there and they meet the saving grace of the whole movie, Babu Frick. Babu Frick. Saving grace of the whole movie. That movie's okay because of Babu Frick. I want a pop of Babu Frick so bad.
He's like the porgs of this movie.
Yes.
They also find Dio.
They do find Dio. Dio's in Ochi's ship. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chip, yeah.
And he's a droid with like
And the way
PTSD.
the way that I compared it to, and I don't.
Oh
know,
no.
I'm just gonna say it anyway. I feel like he was a pet that was just abused. The way.
No, 100%. Yeah.
Like he's like a dog that was abused or something. He's like, no, thank you. Whenever she tries to touch him, and he just rolls away. But then like he gains the trust back whenever she.
Yeah, like over time, she like fixes him and like oils his wheel, and he's like, "Thank you." I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, Dio's great. So yeah, they all fly to Kijimi and they search for Zori Bliss, who is one of Poe's old acquaintances. There's literally no suave characters in Star Wars that haven't fucked somebody over. Like Han Solo's wanted by everyone he runs into. Poe, who's dope as shit, shows up on this place and Zori tries to kill him, and they're like, "Hold on, but like we need your help first, and then do whatever you want." Yeah, so they go and meet Babu. Is this at the same time you see Kylo get his mask rebuilt?
Yeah, I think
yeah.
it's about the same time. Yeah.
Because that scene's outstanding. I wish the whole movie was as fucking weird as that scene. Because it's like the knights standing around a table and then just a chimpanzee with fucking cyberpunk goggles glued to his face, like building a helmet. I love it. It's so weird and I love it so much. I want the Blade Runner version of this movie so bad. So you see that happen. He gets his mask put back together and they don't do a very good welding job because you still see all the lines. And like right when C-3PO dies for a second.
You skip over the good shit.
No, what? Okay, go ahead.
So
it's a conversation. Detail it.
And Babu is like working on stuff, and C-3PO is still awake.
Yes.
And you know they're talking about things, and C-3PO is like, "Oh man, well you know, is there anything else? You know, there's got to be another way." And they're starting to get a little sentimental, and C-3PO like gets up and like walks to the other side of the room and turns around and looks. And Poe's like, CPO, like 3PO.
3PO.
3PO. What are you doing? He's like, taking one last look at my friends. I'm like, no.
Yeah, that was another, heart-wrenching moment.
Oh, dude, I was like, no way, they're gonna do it again.
Yeah, and then they
sits down and like right before
he goes, oh wait,
there's another way, and it like zaps him and it's like, oh god.
And then to skip tracks a little bit, like an hour later in the movie, you find out that C-3PO has like basically a backup.
Well, they mentioned that before,
hang on. Denstein.
Yep. We're spoiling the fuck out of Star Wars.
Just so you know, so if you don't want to be here or hear it, I know you want to be here, but if you want to hear it.
Yes. You cannot watch the stream without seeing the title now that says We're spoiling Star Wars. But, Ryan, I appreciate you pointing out. Good, you saw it immediately.
Checking.
All right, we're good.
So they do mention the backups beforehand, but they mentioned that R2 is not the most reliable. His storage is kind of...
Yeah, C-3PO is like, R2-D2's storage is not the most reliable thing in the world.
Yeah,
right.
but then...
completely just rags on him.
Well, it's because he doesn't have to travel with him anymore, so we can talk shit about this guy he's had to deal with for fucking 20 years. It's like, yeah, that motherfucker, he's the worst.
Through a desert in like one of the first movies.
Yeah.
He starts rolling away and C-3PO follows him.
But yeah, to jump tracks a little bit, guys, don't worry. C-3PO is okay because R2-D2's memory works fine and just restores C-3PO's memory to like the last time they saw each other, which was like days ago. So for a minute you're like, fuck, C-3PO's gone. Because that scene is so good. And I would have been okay if C-3PO was just gone.
Mm-hmm.
But No, of course not.
R2's trying to explain who he is, and he's like, he said that he's his best friend, and C-3PO is like, my best friend? I think I would know you if you were my best friend. And R2's like, all right, come here. I'm gonna fucking.
Okay, here I'm gonna stab you in the leg real quick and give you your brain back.
Yeah.
This is Babu Freak. He's my oldest friend.
20 minutes.
So good.
And you know, when he first wakes up, he's asking around, "Who are you?" And you have that Steve Rogers moment where he's like, "I am Babu Freak," or instead of the "I'm Steve Rogers,"
Yeah.
I'm Groot.
Yeah, I am Babu Freak. Then there's the moment. There's a tender moment on the rooftops while this is all happening between Poe and Zori, where they're kind of catching up on lore that we didn't get to see. Exposition, guys, gotta love it. And there's some implied romantic entanglement. I
think I did see. I think it was today. I saw that they're actually making a prequel book that details Poe's life before the Resistance.
Yeah, I'd
So
love that as a show.
You'll get those answers, just not in movie form.
Yeah, I'd love that as a show. Give me 10 hours of Poe. Give me a fucking like a Flyboy show of a Resistance, of just a fighter pilot fucking shit up for years and then making his way into the Resistance. I'd love it.
That's one hell of a pilot.
Oh, dude. Okay, that's another thing, jumping tracks a little bit. The Force Awakens shows Poe being a badass several times. Last Jedi, you see it in the beginning. They start the movie with it. And then Rise of Skywalker, you barely see Poe flying. And it's like, dude, he's your gunslinger in the sky. Like, let's show him fucking shit up for just a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
That's
fine.
He does at the end.
Yeah, the very, very
And
end.
then loses his mind at the same time.
Yeah, because, like,
Yeah,
Nien Numb just dies
Yeah.
off camera. Fucking, ugh. So anyway, tender moment. C-3PO gets his data wiped. Rey, in an emotional, I have to get some air, kind of goes outside and there's the Star Destroyers up there. And she, like, feels Chewie. That's a weird sentence. I feel Chewie. She feels Chewie's presence on the ship. And she's like, Chewbacca's up there. And they're like, don't mess with me. Which felt weird.
Like, yeah, dude, when she said that, I really felt like Finn would be like, no, he's fucking dead because you killed him. Like, I felt like that would be the proper response. Like, don't fuck with me. Like, come on.
Yeah, instead he's like, first he's dead, now he's alive. Which one is it?
I believe you instantly. Don't risk our lives to go on this ship.
Oh, how great would it have been if Poe had been like, no, he's not. You killed him. And, like, just made her fucking own her mistake. But no, instead they're like, what? Let's go get him. So yeah, Zori helps them infiltrate the Star Destroyer. Do they take a old Imperial ship up there?
No, she has one of the Imperial passcode chips that you can enter any ship with it. It's kind of like a passport whenever you're entering a country.
Sure. So they just like send that across the.
Yeah, but like when you get there, they ask for your like license and registration, basically. Like,
sure.
Who the fuck are you? Like, yeah, you got here, but you shouldn't be here.
Yeah. What's the thing that happens in Return of the Jedi, where they have codes, and they call them in, and they're like,
sir, but it checks out.
It's an old code, but it checks out. Yeah, basically the same fucking thing happened here.
Yeah.
They're like, no, it's old as shit. So yeah, they 5 people infiltrate a Star Destroyer with thousands of stormtroopers, and they all accomplish their mission.
Yeah.
It's not even 5 people, because Rey stays on the planet, doesn't she?
It's no Rey goes because
Kylo comes down and Rey goes up.
Yep.
Yeah. I was just remembered the scene where they interact again through the Force bridge. Yeah. So yeah, Rey's looking for what Kylo's after or been after, and then they're looking for Chewbacca. The other 3, or I guess the other. Is Zori with them, or does she leave?
No, she doesn't come with them.
Yeah, she stays on the planet. So, they find it's. I feel shitty like glossing over this, but it's so quick. Like they find Chewie, and they kind of get out, and then they get caught, and then Admiral Hux, who's played by Donald Gleason, who is the guy that hates Kylo, helps them break out, and you're like, oh shit.
I'm the spy.
Is he having a come to... That is a thing he does!
This was by far the dumbest thing that they had done so far. Like, I'm sitting here thinking nobody in their right mind is going to believe that he's not a spy, and then he gets paid off later where they instantly know.
Yeah, he's like, I'll hide it. And you're like, okay, sure, bud. Yeah, so they task him with executing him, and then he helps them get away, and like tells them to shoot him in the leg or something.
Yeah.
Shoot him in the arm, and then he shot him in the leg.
Shoots him in the leg.
Yeah. And then they charge out in a scene that's actually pretty dope. Them like charging out and shooting shit up. It's great. I love it. And they get back on the Falcon and zip on out of there because for some reason the Falcon doesn't have a parking lock on it. As you would imagine it would.
I thought it didn't work.
It's impounded.
The whole thing in A New Hope where R2 had to unlock it from the docking bay or something.
Yeah.
They don't have those anymore?
No. Maybe they just hadn't taken the time. They were like, we just towed this, throw it in impound, and we'll get to it later because we gotta leave again.
They thought OnStar would shut it down, but it's too old.
Dude, the Falcon's locked into place like so many times except for this one.
Right.
Like the first time you see it in Solo, it's locked down in an impound, and they literally have to break off parking locks on it. And then they have to break it. They have to get it started when they're on Tatooine the first time you meet Han Solo, and they have to fight off people while it's getting started. And then when they're on the Star Destroyer, it's locked down. And then this time, they're just like, let's go. Whoop, whoop. Gone. That's fine. And then...
Well, you could argue that Hux would have unlocked it for them as he's trying to help them escape. I'm just trying to
You're trying.
make sense. I'm trying.
You said that, and I was like, boy, he's just reaching for him. Okay, that's cool, I guess. So they get out. Rey and Kylo have a moment on the ship. Another Force Bridge moment. I think that's where he straight up reveals that the Emperor's her granddaddy.
Nope.
Yeah, it is.
Not through the bridge.
He says he knows who.
He knows who, and he's like, I'm gonna come up here and tell you. And then, because he finds out that she's on the ship by them sword fighting or having a duel, and he knocks the
Vader mask.
Vader mask off.
Oh, that scene's so great. He looks down and goes,
he's like, I know where you're at. And
he looks down and goes, oh, you're there.
That's where you are.
That's where you are. Oh, yeah. So good. So good. And also, he was super impartial to Vader's helmet getting fucked up. Like, that thing's a shrine to him for 2 movies, and then he's like,
the
whatever.
fact that they were all on a ship and he still didn't know after they got all the way to Chewie, like, they didn't, like, reach down, like, hey, Supreme Leader, they're kind of fucking your shit up here.
Also, it does totally make sense that they would not tell him. Like, if they were like, we gotta tell Kylo that we just got fucking hijacked, I would be like, you want to tell him, motherfucker?
Yeah.
I'm not. Go ahead, say what you want. So they just didn't tell him because they're scared of him.
If Rey can sense that Chewie is up on the Star Destroyer, why couldn't Kylo sense that Rey's up there? That's my question. Does it not work if
Maybe it's only a good side thing.
Maybe they don't have the best connection, even though they have.
No, that can't be it, because in A New Hope, Darth Vader knows when Obi-Wan's close.
When Luke's close.
He knows when Obi-Wan's close. Or you could argue either one. Yeah. Because the first time they show up together.
Or no, Luke knows that Vader's close because he's like, Vader's on that ship.
Yeah, but when they get onto the Death Star, Vader is the one that like stops and is like, a feeling I haven't felt in a long time or something is, you know what I mean? Doesn't he say that? Something like that, yeah. Something like that. He recognizes Obi-Wan's musk. He smells, Obi, what's up, dude? So I think Rey finds out that, because she picks up the blade, because they took it.
Yeah, and then when she
picks up the blade, she sees Ochi killing her parents.
Yeah. Yes.
And then Kylo tells her that Ochi was sent by the Emperor to kill her parents and bring you back.
That's when he lands on the ship. It's not during the bridge though.
Does she stay on the ship?
Yeah, well, as she's getting off, Kylo lands. As she's getting ready to like,
That's right. They meet in the hangar.
Yeah, in the hangar. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So then you find out that the Emperor killed your parents and wanted you because apparently force sensitivity skips a generation, and you are Palpatine's granddaughter. Which, boy, cop out. And then, as soon as
who else would be the bad guy?
Ren. He was a fucking monster in terms of anger at the end of Last Jedi, and it would have made so much sense for him to build the Knights of Ren and then just be fucking destroying the galaxy looking for the Resistance. He was so mad.
No, I get that, but like the name, the Rise of Skywalker, you know in some way that he's literally the only Skywalker left.
Well, that wasn't the original title.
Right, but
the original title was The Duel of Fates.
Right, but this is the title, and that's the title that we had going into the movie.
Right,
so
but if it had been about Ren being the bad guy, it wouldn't have been called Rise of Skywalker.
Right.
That's my point.
So like knowing the Rise of Skywalker, like Kylo's got to turn good at some point. Something's got to happen.
Or I thought Rey was going to be Luke's daughter, which would have been I would have been more happy with that, honestly. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, she finds that out, and then Kylo gets pissed. He lets them leave.
No. Whenever, dude, they turn the Millennium Falcon on, and like everybody behind him gets blasted, and he's just like, "Fuck this shit," and just kind of stands.
Yeah, he just stands.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it was so good too.
He's so powerful, dude. He freezes laser bolts in the air. Yeah. He just goes, "Nah, fuck off with that." He's so powerful and so underused, and it makes me so sad. Anyway. What's his name? What's his nuts? Hux lets them leave on the Falcon. And then goes, it has to answer for the fact that he didn't execute them. And he's like, there was a, what is he trying to say?
They overpowered me.
They overpowered us.
Yeah.
And the loyalist that we've seen earlier, just without looking, shoots behind his back and kills him and goes, "We found the traitor."
Yeah.
It's just like,
I cheered so hard.
It was so good. Man, I was like, maybe this guy has some hope, but no one's gonna fucking believe his sniffly ass. And then he goes in and
reason for being the spy too is so funny. He's like,
"Yeah, I don't like you."
He's like, "I don't want you to win," but Kylo Ren needs to lose or something like that.
Yeah, I don't want you to win. I just want Kylo to lose. Like, you petty bitch.
Fucking high school all over again.
Yeah, you petty motherfucker. Dentonstein echoes my sentiment. He thinks that the most impactful story for the movie would have been Rey turning to the dark side and Kylo stopping her. Which, if Rey actually had killed Chewbacca, and it was because she got mad, and she like just spiraled downhill into this like awful, well, fuck it, I'm a bad person, and then she finds out she's maybe not Palpatine's daughter, but finds out that maybe she actually is nobody, and that Kylo killed her parents. Darker. And then Kylo would eventually be like, maybe I should fix this.
To fix this. Yeah.
I done made a mistake because she's stronger than me, and now she's meaner too, and I hate it.
Or she would have struck down the Emperor and literally took on the force of 1,000 Siths. Like
Kylo would have been like, but like, I'm the supreme leader.
He goes and just kills himself.
I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I'm strong enough to do it. Just holds it to his head and turns it on, turns it off. Anyway, God, they move around so much in this movie.
They do.
So as they leave, Kylo's pissed, and the Star Destroyer shows its truck nuts and blows up an entire planet with a gun.
Blows up that planet.
Yeah, blows up
Kijimi.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh no, Zori Bliss and Babu Freak and all those people I love so much are now just gone. Don't worry, Rise of Skywalker can't leave anybody dead. So after that, they fucking Rey takes off on her own Wait, no, they're all together. In the Falcon, aren't
Yeah.
they?
Because they have to go to.
They go to
Endor
Kef. They go to
first.
Kef Bir. It's not Endor, because Endor is the moon, and it landed on the planet,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
which is Kef Bir. Which
Yeah.
I don't know if they even say that. They go there. It's in that visual dictionary for sure. Somehow they fuck up the landing.
Yeah, they couldn't slow down. That's
I don't
what I
know.
don't freaking. Yeah, you don't have any landing gear. That doesn't mean you can't slow the fuck down.
Dude, it does vertical takeoff. You could
Yeah,
just
it just
drop it on its fucking ass.
Our landing gear's broken. Okay, let's crash it. Like, what? Just dive
Maybe
on
the
around.
landing gear have to be put down for it to do vertical takeoff and landing. There's no landing gear, so we can't go up and down. We can only go forwards. I don't know. Anyway, guys, I did like this movie. It sounds like we're picking
Yeah.
it to shit, but like it. Meh. Anyway, so they crash land that shit and alert some people off screen that we haven't seen, that we won't see for a minute. But obviously, they crash landed on a planet, and people are gonna be like, "Oh, what was that?" And they go up to the top of the hill, and they realize, okay, we're at the place where the Death Star crashed after it exploded. The remains of the Death Star crashed. And then Rey uses the dagger. Oh my god, I forgot about this. Rey uses the dagger to look at a wreckage that's 40 fucking years old in the ocean, and it lines up perfectly.
What I don't get is she finds out where it's at, then goes on this fucking boat and climbs up in the ship and still knows exactly where the fuck she's going.
Yeah, no fucking way you're gonna remember that shit.
Never been on the inside of this thing to
No.
know where you need to go.
Also, super funny that the place where it's hidden is just the Emperor's office.
It's just a side room.
It's just in his desk. Like, bro.
You see him sitting there.
Yeah, shit. So yeah, she leaves the group because she's gotten to the
Picture with her.
what?
It's a family. There's a family picture on the desk with him. His parents, and her.
It's the Emperor and his kids and their newborn baby girl. Oh fuck, that's so good. I love it so much. Oh, I want that. Like, just Photoshop that shit
And
in.
I need you to. That needs to be your next art project. You need to.
But I need the Emperor in his throne room looking at a picture of his
portrait.
grandkids. Oh, yo, who got down with the Emperor?
It would have happened around the time of Attack of the Clones.
What
Like-
if he? What if he created a son?
I mean, so are his
Someone
are
would
his
have had to.
What if he created an heir?
are his kids clones of him? Was his son a clone of him?
Could be. What I mean,
I feel like Zing's gonna go find out.
I don't think that a Sith Lord is worried about getting poon, you know. But like,
I argue the opposite. That's all I would care about. I have. Tech says, guys, the dude was ruling the galaxy from the dark side and the political side. He could get some. Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, you're not wrong. Like, evil attracts something. So, apparently, someone got down and dirty with the Emperor. Strike me down. Finish me. Intergalactic thoughts.
Jesus Christ.
Oh man.
Next project.
Oh shit. So
Teens at a nightclub, fucking all around, just making it rain.
oh man. Oh god. So Ben puts out something pretty great. It would have been better if he had little abandoned kids all over the galaxy that all showed up and tried to fight for the throne. That would have been dope. Rey shows up and there's like 6 other people in there fighting over the Wayfinder. Like, no, he's my dad.
It's like
like
Ego, the Living Planet, except he doesn't kill all his kids.
Yeah,
a
just
battle
let him
royale. He's
go.
like, I've got lightsabers everywhere. Go pick them up and fight.
I built the Star Destroyer so people can stop coming after me for fucking child support. Leave me alone. I'll blow your planet up, you fucks.
It's like that scene from Dark Knight where he just snaps a pool stick in half and throws in whoever comes out is my new apprentice.
Is my actual kid. We're gonna have snap tryouts. It'd be yes, I want that movie, that mini show so bad. So, God, Rey goes 2 miles into the water and through all sorts of shit to find the Emperor's office. Opens a side room that still has power. The door still... What?
Dude, it's the Force.
No, that made mechanical noises. And then, after touching the Sith Wayfinder, has a vision where she fights herself as a Sith.
Dude,
which
saber is sick.
Was dope. And then there's that moment where the vision of her blocks her lightsaber real close, and she fucking sneers and her teeth sharpen. Ugh. I can't wait for Old Republic Star Wars to come out. That's on its way, because the Sith are like so evil and have like sharp teeth and like fucking it's nuts. I want to see that so bad. So she fights a copy of herself. And then Kylo shows up. Which, like, what the fuck? Did he take a boat too?
No, he landed his TIE fighter on a part of the Death Star.
Yeah, because she...
I forgot it's raining. He's just really wet.
They fight their way to it.
Yeah. Yeah, so he then destroys the Sith Wayfinder. So the only way he can get there is through him. He's like, you have to come with me now. Hold my hand, please.
Just touch me, please.
Yeah, and then there's a huge fight down a remnant of the Death Star's trench, or just wreckage. They're just fighting down wreckage. There is like a turret at the end of it though.
Yeah.
So it's some kind of defense. Rey's getting her ass kicked because she's not a good sword fighter at all. Really?
She's fighting with rage, and that's why.
Yeah, and Kylo's just
going down.
Yeah, Kylo's playing the Rocky game where he's just like, just let them tire themselves out.
Yeah.
And he's just continually walking at her while she's me.
Yeah, because you can see like she stances up, changes stance, and it's like, like.
Yeah, and he's just like, stop this shit. You're bad at this.
Or like actual like pressure to win it instead of skill. Yeah. And why does Finn think that he's godly? Because like they jumped, like she force pushes him away, and then they jump over this like half-mile ravine, and he's like, "We gotta go get her!" Like, dude, how the fuck are you gonna get over there?
I think he's overconfident from his fight in the Force Awakens, where he beats Kylo, who's severely injured from Chewie shooting him in the leg with that
bowcaster.
Yeah, bowcaster.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how does Chewie fuck up that bad? Let's talk about that for just a second. You had one shot. And you hit him in the fucking leg?
It was like 150-meter shot. They were far away.
Chewbacca.
It's Chewbacca. He can hit people with stormtrooper weapons. His aim is better.
Like, he's just freaking amazing.
Yeah, he hits him.
It was in the gut. It was in the gut.
It's like the hip. It hits him in the hip because when he's fighting, he's like punching himself in the gut.
Yeah.
He got hit in a bad spot. Like not like, oh, that one's in the shoulder, I'll be fine. Like, no, this one's in the joint where your leg moves. So when you walk, every time it's like,
Why does he cauterize his own wound with his lightsaber?
Does he?
I said, why doesn't he? He's over here like bleeding out and shit.
That's genius. Your lightsaber has a fucking hilt, doofus. Just okay, we're good. We skipped the. What did you guys think about the introduction of like other stormtrooper deserters? How? What is? Zing, you look like you were going to say something.
Go ahead, Ryan, if you got something.
Yeah. I like it because like they really made Finn like the only one. Like, I was the only one that stood up to the First Order, and I, moved on because like And like the Clone Wars, they were all just clones, but these ones are actual people now, like that are getting taken as kids and raised up to be stormtroopers. So I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
Like they can't be like Finn's the only one. There's got to be more people that have done this.
Am I the only one that thinks that Finn and Poe are the best couple of
yeah.
them? Okay, so does it feel like Zori Bliss and the deserter chick are just there to make sure people know that they're not gay?
Well, Finn had Rose too, and they kind of forgot about her in this movie.
Oh boy, Rose got fridged hardcore.
Yeah.
Her character was dope in Last Jedi. I liked her a lot.
Until the only thing she did was save Finn's life.
Yo, this is a
ruined the whole thing because if Luke didn't show up, they were all fucked.
You know how dope it would have been and how sad it would have been if Finn fucking flew into that thing and actually died to save everybody?
That would have been great.
I was like, oh fuck, oh my god, he's gonna die. But yeah, Rose, Kelly Marie Tran got a lot of shit on social media. And quit social media, and yeah, her character got fridged super hard because fanboys were like, she's stupid.
How was her speeder faster than his?
Because he was flying down a beam that was pushing against him, and he was flying like this, and she was flying like that.
Yeah, because I guess he wasn't smart enough to fly outside the beam and then get
and then cut in. Guys, dude, it's the same reason people run away from giant wheel shapes. They run in the path of the wheel. The motherfucker just run that way. This thing's gonna fall like that. You'll be fine.
Move 2 feet to the right, you're fine.
Yeah. Running away from a 100-foot pole that's 1 inch wide, and they run the 100 feet instead of take a step right. So yeah, anyway, while Rey's doing all this shit, the people back on the ground run into other stormtrooper deserters, other former stormtroopers, and they all ride these weird horses. That's fine.
Yep.
Dude, like Star Wars is a combination of like puppets and weird creatures, like most of the movies, and I love it. And then yeah, we talked about this moment earlier. It's an emotional moment. Leia decides to reach out to her son because I'm sure she can feel the turmoil of him like fighting Rey. And when she does and makes contact with him, he falters, and then Rey stabs him in the gut, and then simultaneously Leia dies. Which is, man, fuck.
Yeah, she used every bit of energy just to
reach out to him, which like she hadn't done, which is something. Because like she doesn't, the Han say something about like doing it, and she's like, he's too far gone. Yeah. In Force Awakens or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that happens. That scene's really well put together. And Rey realizing like what's happened after she stabs him, decides to show off the healing power she shows before, and heals him. But then just kind of leaves him.
I don't get that though. Why does she heal him? Does she have that much faith that she knows he's gonna turn good?
I think that she realized. I personally, and y'all probably had a different take on this. I personally had. I was convinced. I had the belief that Rey killing Kylo or stabbing him is what killed Leia. Like she made a connection with her son, and while she was connected with her son, Rey fucking impaled him. And Leia was like, ugh, and died. And then like she felt it, Kylo felt it, and I think that moment was enough that's why I think she healed him, because she was like, fuck, like she was trying to reach out and I fucking stabbed him. Also she's fighting with anger down that walkway, and I think that might be the moment where she
her out of the rage.
Yeah, like it snapped her out and she went, oh fuck. Like, why am I so angry?
I took Leia dying as like Luke projected himself to save them.
Sure.
She did the same thing, and that just took all of her energy.
Yeah,
I don't think Rey stabbing Ren was what killed her. I think it was just her doing it in general just to get herself to him.
Sure.
Reason. So, but
no, that's a good point. And Tech made the same point in chat. Like that outreach is enough to fucking
Yeah.
do some work. I don't.
And Kylo had assistance from the Emperor, so
Yeah, the Emperor's the one manipulating. Because yeah, like we said it earlier, Kylo's like, I know you aren't the one doing this, because if it was you, it would kill you.
But if the Emperor is actually doing this, he would know that things weren't going correctly, because at one point Kylo says that he's gonna kill the Emperor.
He just wants Rey.
No. I get that, but like the Emperor would, I felt like he would have intervened in a different way instead of continuing to bridge them if they're both gonna challenge the Emperor.
Well, what if the bridge took a tremendous amount of concentration to create, and a tremendous amount of power to create? Once it's created, it's just a thing.
and then when that lightsaber switch happens that Tech's mentioning in chat, they're on the same planet, so that's not as great of a distance.
No, they're a couple hundred feet from each other.
It's a lot closer.
Yeah, well,
And at that point, they're like force dyads, straight up.
yeah, well, but like Tech said that they switched lightsabers. If the Emperor was a part of it, he would have saw that happening.
Well, she did it in front of him.
But she did it behind her back, and then pulled her hand back, and he's like, "Oh God!" Like, yeah.
She had another lightsaber though, right? She had the other lightsaber.
Yeah.
Not in her hand though. She had to grab it, but like, she didn't have both of them in her hand at one time. She had this one and was gonna strike him down, and then was like, "Ta-da!" Like, don't
Yeah,
have it.
I think the connection is the Emperor. I think the Emperor started it, but I think once it started, it's like your phone remembering a Bluetooth connection. Like, it's easier to reconnect each time you want to turn it on, but that first time you got to put in passwords and shit, and it's the worst. Again, not quite sure how it all works because it feels kind of slapped onto the side of a boat. So yeah, the movie accelerates from there. Rey leaves. Kylo sits there. The rest of the group go back to the Resistance and like have this rallying cry of like, we gotta fucking, Rey's gonna go do some shit. Oh no, Rey
went to go.
Rey like leaves. She goes to like disappear.
She goes to
What an asshole.
Luke's island.
Yeah, she goes to Octo and she's like, nah, I'm done.
I'm doing what you did, is what she says
Yeah.
to Luke. He's like, what are you doing? Like, just the way in his voice. What do you think you're doing? Like, you got to be
Sorry,
better with
Dad.
your life.
Oh, dude, and he catches the lightsaber and is like, that's no way to treat a light. Just like specifically calling out himself for throwing the fucking lightsaber over his head, which I loved. He was like, fuck this. I don't want it. I'm here because I don't want this shit. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
And then said he catches it and he's like, meh, the fans said that's no way to treat a lightsaber.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, so she goes and does that, and the other guys go back, Poe, Finn, and Chewie. They go back and find out that Leia died. And that's when Chewie loses his fucking mind.
Yep. And then we see Han talk to
Yeah, we see Han talk to
Ben.
Kylo.
Yeah.
Kylo implies that he loves Han. Han says, I know. Oh, it's all tradition.
I love you, Dad.
Yeah.
And then Poe comes up with this idea. Let's go send a message out to everybody that we're fighting. And then someone's like, yo, we did that fucking last time? And no one came.
Nobody came.
And he's like, but this time, we have Lando.
Dude, when he runs up to Finn and he was like, I can't do this alone. Will you be a commander with me? And like Finn's just trying to go through like saying something else, and he's like, "Oh, hang on, thank you. Yes, I'll be the commander alongside you." Like they have like a little like boy toy moment.
Dude,
together.
yes. Poe's like, I can't do this alone. Will you marry me? And I would have been like, yes, dude, let's go. Y'all are the cutest couple here. But no, that's fine. I'll just headcanon that. I just need a foe and Pin. I just need a Poe and Finn. I just need a Poe and Finn. I need a movie of just those two.
It's like Captain America, like the Winter Soldier, to coming together. We need that.
Yeah, I just need a movie where like everything that Poe does, Finn's like, dude, that was so awesome, and everything that Finn does, Poe's like, buddy, you're the best, and they just hug every 10 minutes.
They're their own hype men.
I need that so bad. Yeah, they go on a fucking trip. Luke raises the X-Wing out of the water. Man, OG's ship works after 40 years. This ship's 40 years underwater.
And
it's
it's terrible water too. Like it's
it's probably
time.
salt water. Like that ship is fucked. Whatever.
She puts the oversized helmet on that definitely doesn't need to be in there, but I get they put it in there because it's Luke's ship.
Why do they wear helmets in spaceships if the helmets aren't closed?
Because they had the transmitters in them.
Wear a headset.
I mean, yeah, but I think the visor also acted as like their targeting system too. I think it was integrated in the ship.
Maybe. Ben says because you bonk your noggin. Clunk, 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 clunk. Yeah, I guess that's a thing.
It's just stormtroopers that do that.
Yeah, they hit their heads on doors and shit. Yeah. So yeah, Rey comes back. How does she figure out where to go?
She takes the Wayfinder out of Kylo's TIE fighter.
So
It
Kylo
hadn't been destroyed.
can crush a
Okay.
Wayfinder with his hand, but the ship on fire exploding doesn't blow up the other Wayfinder.
No, it
I
didn't.
hate that I keep doing this. I'm so sorry.
He had it in the safety harness, bro.
Yeah.
He
Remember that thing you built in middle school? Remember the thing you built in middle school with straws and tape to try and keep an egg from cracking when you dropped it? He built one of those around that shit. What were you saying, Zing? I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
I was saying he used the Force to crush the first one. You know,
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
a little bit more there.
He was like, I'll hold it with my hands and squeeze,
Zing
but I'll use the
trying
Force to
save
make it
everything
look
that
like
we
him.
ruined about this movie.
What?
So Zing's saving everything that we try to ruin about this movie.
Writer's room for the next one. I'll
Like-
figure things out.
Yeah, well, they should just let us write the next one because we'll just laugh at all the dumb shit. Just, what? Really? That's going to happen?
Let's proofread it and then we'll make our edits.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. We'll save them a bunch of money, too. I don't need millions. Just give me like 20,000. I'm good. 50?
I'll be fine.
I'll be fine. We will take $1 million together. How's that? And then we'll split it right down the middle. Well, not down the whatever. So yeah, Rey gets the fucking Wayfinder in an X-wing, and then in a cheesy moment, they're like, "Hey, we're getting a call from an old X-wing. It's Luke's X-wing." And then she's like, "Follow me. I'm gonna go to this place where there's apparently hundreds of Death Stars by myself, and I need you to show up." And then for some reason, everyone does it.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like, I get it. I get, like, thematically why that had to happen. But, like, if the Resistance is like, yo, we got these 36 people. And then someone who's been pretty reckless for the last, I don't know how long the movies last. The last 2 movies is like, I'm flying a 40-year-old ship into a death trap. Join me. I feel like it would have been smarter to just be like, yeah, no. Like,
Well,
At
they
that
knew
point, they
the
don't-
time was running out. They had 16 hours at the beginning of this before the ships were going to go off and destroy all these planets. Like, you have to go.
Oh, I forgot there's that timer.
Yeah, they're like, it's going off in like 8 hours or 4 hours or something. They're like, we have to go now. So, I mean, it's like, it's either an all or nothing
Yep,
at this point.
sure. Man, the end of this movie is something, huh?
How does Ren get back there without the Wayfinder? Because he didn't drive the ship.
That's a
He
good.
put- he
Well,
put
maybe
in the-
maybe the TIE Fighter's navigation computer remembers where to go.
he didn't use
They
his.
have it.
He used a generic TIE fighter. He didn't
Wait,
use
where'd
his
he get a
set.
TIE Fighter?
Probably from a hangar bay from the Death Star.
Yeah, so he used the 40-year-old TIE fighter.
Hold on. So you've seen the end of that movie. that ship fucking explodes, and then it crashes through atmosphere onto a planet, and there's an X-wing that still works on it.
A TIE fighter.
A TIE fighter. There's a TIE fighter on it that still works.
I mean,
It's not even plot armor at this point. It's just it's plot map quest. You're like, you'll make it, dude. We got you, dude. Well, don't worry about it, dude. Turn right here. You're good. Don't worry about it.
What's the point of the camera fade to show the X-wing and the TIE fighter together? I feel like they added that for some reason, because when Kylo lands, it just shows the TIE fighter, and then it zooms out, and it's got the X-wing and the TIE fighter right next to each other.
I guess it's just to let you know that, hey, they're in the same place. Just in case that showed him land, and you were like, what's that snowy planet? And didn't realize he was going to Exegol.
I mean, you know he's at Exegol. Just
People be dumb, dude. Maybe not. Maybe not.
I felt like they were trying to make a point with it, but then I was like, I don't know what the point would be of showing two of the old ships from the old movies are still in it.
Yeah, basically.
They didn't come up with a better design in 40 plus years.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So Rey goes and confronts the Emperor, and he's in a throne room that's just straight pulled from some of the original concept art for Star Wars. I can't remember the name of the guy that did the Sith throne artwork, but it's like the same exact photo. In a Colosseum full of Sith acolytes. And while this is happening, Ren is trying desperately to get to her. He jumps 40 feet into a steel chain, makes it. He's all right. Doesn't bust his fucking shit.
Did you not hear him land?
Oh, it sounded bad, but he didn't have any bruises. What'd you say, Zing?
He was in pain.
Yeah, he should be. He jumped a long distance and landed on some metal. And then it's followed by just like the best I would die for you fucking montage of Kylo just like shooting without looking and like slide, aim, no one's there. I'm going to keep running.
Apex
Yeah, it's great. He's just playing Apex Legends trying to get to Rey. While the Emperor is telling Rey that you're my granddaughter, Empress Palpatine. I'm not going to lie. The Emperor being the play felt cheap. But when he calls her Empress Palpatine, I was like, oh shit, that slaps. Like, I'm down.
I fucking hate you.
But like,
That slaps.
dude, it was like, man, how did we get from like you're nobody in the first movie to Empress Palpatine?
To being the buddy.
Yeah, the literal only someone. All right, and the rest of the end of the movie. Someone else talk about the end of the movie because what happens? Kylo gets stopped by the Knights of Ren.
Right.
They get
The Hamburglar.
So he doesn't have his lightsaber because he'd thrown it into the ocean.
yeah. Sorry, I left that out. He threw the last bit of Kylo Ren away. He's now Ben.
Right. So he's fighting them without a lightsaber, and it's not going well until Rey, hands him the lightsaber through the Force Skype there.
Force Skype. I love it.
And then he proceeds to just wreck everyone.
Would it be Force time? Like FaceTime?
Jesus.
Sorry. Yes, he obliterates his own buddies.
And so at the same time, Rey's kind of confronting the Emperor and kind of telling him that, she's not going to, join him. And he gets all his Force lightning going. And he's like, I've got the power of 1,000 Sith with me. And she's like, well, I got all the Jedi with me. And pulls out her other lightsaber.
There's that cheesy moment where they stand next to each other.
Yeah.
And the Emperor is like, the last Skywalker threw me in a pit, so now I'll throw you in a pit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
This dude's so petty for 40 years. He's just been like, I can't wait to push this motherfucker into a well.
The fact that the Sith almost comes back from all of this, but like he absorbs the power, like he gets a taste of it, and like, oh my, this is gonna be amazing, and like zaps every bit of energy from the two of them, and just like he still doesn't come back to like.
Oh, but he does like
Palpatine
reconstruct.
look. He goes back to like still death Palpatine. Like,
Yeah.
his eyes are recessed like 3 inches into his fucking skull. Like,
Well, his eyebrow grows back out.
Yeah.
Well, they were still alive, so he didn't go all the way back to pre-Mace Windu Palpatine.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess if he would have killed them with that, do you think he would have gone all the way back to that?
Possibly.
Yeah, he
Unless
probably
he
could've-
just liked the look. I don't know.
I'm really
he's
digging.
a little more
I got
menacing
my
like
fingers
that.
back.
Sure, yeah. He got his fingers back. This is true. For a minute. For a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then yeah, fights Rey. Wait, how does that happen? He pushes Kylo down a well, and then Rey is Rey still fighting the Praetorian Guard that he has?
No, she already finished fighting them, and she's laying on the ground. Not. Like,
Oh, that's right. He's like zapping her, and she's like almost dead.
Well, no, he's zapping the sky at this point, and like zapping all the ships.
Yes,
in the sky.
yes. You're right. You're right.
Because we didn't talk on this, but like a billion resistant ships just pop up out of nowhere.
1 billion.
One
billion ships.
billion.
They couldn't get one ship to show up before.
Yo, how did
All
they
of a
have? Yeah, they couldn't get one ship to show up last time, and now everyone's like, "Well, I guess this time was real."
sudden- Leia's dead, so now we'll go. Like,
How
what?
did they have? How did they have a Riders of the Rohirrim moment, like the Lord of the Rings Battle of Helm's Deep moment, where Gandalf shows up on the hilltop with thousands of horsemen? How did they have a moment like that and I wasn't crying? That happened, and I was like, "Yeah, no shit."
And it was the on your left thing from Avengers. Too.
And from Avengers, yeah, because Poe gets a transmission. It's like, what?
Yeah,
and then-
we're here. He's like,
Ships.
Yeah, Poe's having a mental breakdown of like, guys, I'm so sorry, I don't know what to do, and it's just like, we got your back or whatever, and like it's like, oh hey, look, there's everybody, there's the whole galaxy that's not first.
the whole gang's here, guys. We brought them all.
What are those? They're just ships. They're people. Like, oh, okay.
Like for the Lord of the Rings thing, tears. On your left, I was a fucking mess. This, I was like, yeah, of course they showed up.
Yeah,
Like,
they kind of had to.
You're not gonna let the Emperor just fucking ruin everything.
Yeah.
And we'd had that screenshot, and everyone's picking out, oh, there's that ship, there's that one. Like before
That's the other
it came
thing.
out.
The Star Wars trailers before, like the Last Jedi trailer and the Force Awakens trailers, I didn't think gave me any information, and I didn't think this one gave me any information until I realized you see the Millennium Falcon with everyone there,
Yeah.
so you know that works, and B, you get the Emperor's voice at the end, and like that's the reveal in the beginning of the fuck.
Yeah.
Ugh. So Rey gets back up with the power of the Jedi, and he starts. He tries to electrocute her with his new powerful fingers, and she uses the lightsaber to deflect it, which nullifies the "strike me down and my spirit will enter your body."
Yeah.
I guess. Because what you say bounces off of me and sticks to you.
He killed himself, basically.
Technically, he killed
yeah.
himself, yeah. And when he dies, he fucking explodes, and it
But-
cracks the throne.
What bugs me is, as soon as it starts coming back at him, why doesn't he just stop emitting?
Because he's about to finish. He's like, no, not yet, not yet.
It's the same when he was playing Mace Windu. He just can't stop.
The power.
I mean, electricity, if it's strong enough, and this is coming from an electrician, if you grab onto a strong enough electricity that the amperage is high enough, you get stuck to it. And like your hand physically will not let you stop.
Okay, that's an interesting argument. Like, do you think he's
I-
being electrocuted while casting electricity?
But go back to Return of the Jedi. He's just like, bzz, 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 bzz. You know, he's like stopping and starting all the time. So
Well, because he was fucking with Luke and realized that afterward he got thrown into a pit. Like, maybe this time I need to give the beans. I gotta give it
Maybe
all.
this time I gotta give the beans.
Like I gotta go full on or nothing.
Yeah, this time I gotta fucking lean into it, or I'm gonna get fucked up again. And then he's like, "Oh no, I leaned too hard. I'm gonna get fucked up again."
Yeah, and then she's like, "Here's another one." He's like, "Mah!" Yeah.
How dope would it have been though if she had struck him down with lightning? She could do it. What if she was like, nah, bitch, bang, and zaps, done.
So I think I asked you, Caleb, a while back. What if she would have struck him down anyway, even though she claimed that she has 1,000 Jedi in her? Would she still take over the Sith throne if she would have slashed him down?
I guess because the only way to kill him is through rage. She would have had to sever a tie with the Jedi to kill him.
But
that doesn't seem.
But like freaking Qui-Gon or no Obi-Wan chopped Darth Maul in half, and he didn't turn bad.
And he was pissed as fuck when he did it.
Yeah, and he was fucking mad.
I guess because they're related. They're related.
Darth Maul was an apprentice too. He wasn't the master.
Sure.
That's true.
I mean, because they're related, I guess. Like, because I don't know. It felt like because they're related, if she struck him down, he could then enter her body because their spirits are somehow tied. The good news is it didn't happen, so we don't have to keep talking about it.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know, but you're right. I don't know the answer to that. Like, why didn't she just cut him down and then his spirit try to enter her, and the Jedi are like, "Nah, motherfucker, we in here, occupado." Like, just leave me alone. You wanted us.
You see Jar Jar come out with one of those force bubbles things from the.
Oops, you can't come in. Oh, shit. How dope would it have been if Jar Jar Binks was like, Misa, I don't want this. Just stops him. Stupid. So then she dies. Doing that kills her. Why? Whatever.
He was
and
already
then
at low health.
she was at low health.
He had almost all of it drained from Palpatine to begin with.
Just
Yeah,
sucked her dry.
That's true. And then Kylo limps out of the pit because is that the fifth character that died but didn't?
Yeah.
Something like
And then he crawls up to Rey.
His legs all fucked up.
Yeah, he limps over to
bodybuilder.
he limps over to Rey and picks up her very dead. Like, dude, in terms of like convincing, like him trying to pick her up and being like fucking limp. That was convincing as shit. I was like, fuck, she's dead. Like,
she's dead as hell.
She's done. She hit the ground, eyes open, and I was like, fuck. And then he's like picking up her limp ass body. And then he uses his force abilities to heal her. But because she was like dead, the transfer was 100%.
It was
like
life,
he had to
life
give
to
his
life.
life to save her life. So the sixth character who died then doesn't die, and then the fifth character actually dies.
Right.
Yeah.
And
I'm expecting that to just keep going back and forth.
Yeah, she's like, no, and then brings him back and then dies, and then he's like, no, you, and then just back and forth for a couple minutes.
She gives half her energy, and they're both like stroke body, like only half the body.
They're like, no, I can't. Stop it. No, I gotta echo Tech in chat though. Like, she looked dead. Like the actress, he said like Daisy Ridley looked dead. Like the actress was dead, and they just happened to be on camera. That was something. Also, when the Emperor died, the motherfucker's face peeled off, and I was like, "Woo!
Yeah.
There's kids in this movie theater."
Yeah.
I'm like, what happened, mommy? Microwave. So Rey dies. Kylo brings her back, and for a minute, for like 10 seconds, they're both alive at the same time, and she kisses him, which I'm totally okay with, because you get to see Ben smile. And for some reason, that shit like sold it to me. I was like, man, yeah, he's okay. We got to see Kylo Ren smile, and then he dies. So
it's like his redemption completing itself.
Yes, and then when he dies, he
And
disappears.
Ben feels the kiss, and then he starts talking to the other girl more.
Oh damn, she was really
I
into
felt
him.
that shit.
Yeah, I guess that's not me then. Not my game. Hey, Poe, come here. I want to tell you something that I didn't get a chance to tell you before. He dies, and when he dies, he disappears. And when he disappears, Leia disappears finally. And the Skywalkers cease to exist. And then the end of the movie is really just like wrap up. Like they rejoin, and the dynamic trio, the terrific trio, Poe, Finn, and Rey, hug, and a really emotional moment where they're all like, I felt the crying that they were doing. I felt that. I was like, it's fucking over. Mostly because I was like, thank God this movie's over. No, I'm just kidding. And yeah, it's like the Return of the Jedi moment where everyone's celebrating and people are hugging, and Poe sees Zori Bliss and he's like, hey, you want to come over here? And she's like, nah. And he's like, damn, still not getting any. Yeah. Poe, come over here. And then you see Rey on Tatooine and Mos Eisley at Luke's childhood moisture farm home. It's all sanded in. Yeah. And she enters the Skywalker lightsabers into the ground. I don't think she's... Do you guys think she's staying there? Or do you think she just went to their home to bury the lightsabers?
She laid them to rest.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not Leia's home, it's just Luke's home. But...
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think...
Well, she can't go to Alderaan. Alderaan is space dust.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So, like, the first time we see the Death Star used... Oops. I tried to find your address, Leia, but it didn't show up on Space Google.
Dude, we skipped a big part.
What?
The Leia fucking training her to be a Jedi?
Oh, dude, yeah, that does happen. Well, that's when Luke gives... So when Luke gives her Leia's lightsaber, she's like, what? Leia had a lightsaber? And she was like, yeah. They did a thing together.
And she was like, Leia saw at the end of her path, she saw that her son would die. Or that he would turn to the dark side.
So she quit, yeah.
So she quit, and it ended up happening anyway.
Yeah.
But...
Well, you can't stop them.
Like, how real did that shit look? It looked like young Luke and Leia.
Dude, so good.
They're getting real good at that.
Yep.
Super good.
So good.
Yeah. And she was like whooping ass too.
Yeah.
She was good.
She's just flipping around and doing crazy shit.
Wasn't in the extended universe, wasn't she stronger than Luke? Or am I
misremembering? I think so. No, I think so. Because Luke didn't have the same feelings she did. Like, she had the ability to sense things like, ways away. And Luke was just like, I'm angry.
She didn't sense the fact that she was kissing her brother, though. Right on the lips.
No, the Force was like, you can't marry because you can't love someone else. And then, like, she kissed him, and the Force was like, yeah, I mean, fuck, you're supposed to love your brother, but, like, this is kind of messed up. Like, we can't make her feel wrong for loving him, but how do we make her feel wrong for this? Yeah. That's why Yoda died. You kissed your brother and the Force made me pay for it, you asshole. Yoda's little freaky buns. Anyway, Rey buries... We're getting punchy because we've been talking about Star Wars for like 2 hours. Rey buries the lightsaber. Lightsabers. And then a stranger just happens to be passing by their moisture farm, which is in the middle of fucking nowhere. And she's like, who are you? And she's like, Rey. And they're like, Rey what? And she's like, can't say Palpatine, she'll kill me. And then looks off into the distance, and you see Luke and Leia and their Force ghosts. And they nod. And she says, Skywalker. And then the credits roll. Have you guys seen the meme that is Peter Parker introducing himself to Doctor Strange in Endgame, or not Endgame, Infinity War, and he goes, I'm Peter Parker, and Doctor Strange goes, Doctor Strange, and he goes, oh, we're using our made-up names. I'm Spider-Man. There's one where he says, I'm Peter Parker, and Rey goes, I'm Rey Skywalker, and he goes, oh, we're using our made-up names. What'd you guys think?
One where the lady there in the desert's like, oh, I was supposed to sell some power converters to that kid.
Supposed to sell power converters to this kid like 42 years ago. Weird.
Yeah. And one more thing before we move on. Rey. Back at the celebration, Chewie finally got his medal after being snubbed in Return of the Jedi. That made me happy.
Wait, what?
When they were doing the medal ceremony in Return of the Jedi,
That's Emperor
Luke
A
and
New
Han
Hope.
got the medals over them, but Chewie didn't get one.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, so he finally got one from Maz, who I'm feeling a love connection there too. But
I think
Chewie
it
and
was
Maz
from
Kanata,
Leia,
let's
though.
go.
yeah,
What'd you say, Ryan?
I think Leia left it for him, and Maz.
Yeah, Leia was like, I was a dick and didn't give you a medal. And then she didn't live
deserved
to.
it 40
Sorry,
years ago.
I meant to give this
Right.
to you a long time ago, but they didn't have any, and we were low on materials. I'm sorry. It
It
was
was on back order.
it was on back order for 40 years, dude. I'm sorry.
Amazon.
I
40
tried so
years
hard.
shipping.
I tried to send it to your family, but they're all gone. So I. Oh fuck! Well, that's Star Wars, y'all. We okay. So we just spent like 2 hours kind of picking this movie apart.
It was still a good movie.
yeah.
It wasn't.
But
a
I still
great
had a
movie.
good
It was-
time. Exactly. Yeah, I cried. I ugly cried a couple times. Like, yeah.
I
It's
got a
fucking
pit-
Star Wars.
There was a pit in my stomach with every old, like every interaction with somebody older.
Yeah. Sure.
Like Lando showed up, I'm like, oh, like it wasn't like, oh, it was like a, oh hey,
Oh, my
I
buddy.
know you.
Yeah. And when fucking Wedge shows up in his X-wing, I was like, he wasn't in an X-wing. He was in something. But when Wedge showed up, I was like, it's Wedge.
When they're flying off after Palpatine's dead and she's flying off in Luke's X-wing, and they're like, Red 5 is in formation. I was like, oh, so good.
Yeah, it's just this is the Nintendo of movies. It's just
Yeah.
cashing in on so much fucking nostalgia.
Yeah.
Here's Mario and Zelda and Link and Yoshi and Luigi and Kirby
And now
and Waluigi and Wario and look, it's Shy Guy. Like it's just here's all the shit you wanted to see, and I love that.
Yeah.
And now I'm looking forward to Star Wars that I've never seen and have no expectations for.
Yeah, what's next though?
Star Wars next, probably Mandalorian season 2 this fall.
No. Like, what could be the next plot?
Oh, I think they're gonna leave the Skywalkers alone, which means now they have to leave Rey alone, because she called herself a Skywalker, which like seems like
Right.
we just eliminated sequels. But in 30 years, when we are taking our grandkids to the movie theater, we'll be taking them to see a movie with Daisy Ridley as Rey, resuming her role. Like it's been 40 years, and now the Jedi are a thing again, and the Sith are gonna show back up. It'll happen. Just watch.
Yeah, so this is strictly rumor mill right now, but I've seen multiple reports of Taika Waititi getting a trilogy to do on
Ooh.
his own,
Yep.
which I'd be all for.
Yeah.
He did the final episode of Mandalorian.
And the first episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Both episodes he was in.
Yeah.
He directed those. Yeah, that would be dope. Ryan Johnson still is willing to do Star Wars and think still has a Star Wars movie. I just don't know what he'll get. I'd love him to do the Old Republic stuff. I also would love him to focus smaller and do Crimson Dawn stuff, because he's really good doing like mystery stuff and murder mystery stuff, and I think him doing a crime syndicate series would be fucking great. We're getting an Obi-Wan show. We're getting a Cassian Andor show, the guy from Rogue One.
Yeah, there was some drama with the Obi-Wan recently. I didn't look too much into it because there's something that I think the studio and Ewan McGregor were having. I don't want to talk too much because I'm not terribly familiar with it. I just saw the headline.
They're having beefies.
Yeah, they're having issues, but
All right. Well, that can't go wrong. I need Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan
Right.
so badly.
yeah.
If they were like, actually, we're going to use someone else, they'd be like, cool, I'm canceling my Disney Plus subscription. I hate you. Yeah. So I don't know. Star Wars was fun. It wasn't great. It was good. There's a lot of shit you got to just kind of close your eyes and nod through, like you're watching a Michael Bay movie, and that's fine.
Yeah, I felt like I had defended Last Jedi for 2 years against all the haters, and then after seeing Rise of Skywalker, I still enjoyed Last Jedi, but my opinion of it kind of suffered a little bit because it I felt like it didn't push the movie forward enough.
Yeah, and I feel like that may be because Last Jedi or Rise of Skywalker reacted to Last Jedi rather than
Right.
sticking to what it was supposed to be. Because the Colin Trevorrow movie is very different. And if y'all haven't read the whether or not it's true leak of the Colin Trevorrow script for Star Wars Duel of Fates, I kind of wish we'd gotten that movie in some ways. No Palpatine. Kylo is a bad guy. Yeah, all sorts of stuff. So, Star Wars is a thing, and more Star Wars is always better. Even bad Star Wars, because it, like, the reason Star Trek and Doctor Who are both huge is because there's a shit ton of it, and people can like what they want to like.
Yeah.
And right now, there's not enough Star Wars quite yet for people to be like, I have my set that's for me, and hopefully someday we'll get there.
Yeah.
There's like 7 Star Trek movies and 60 years of episodes, and
Like we're getting through the Kirk phase of Star Wars, and now we're getting on to who's going to be the Picard.
oh my god, that's such a good metaphor, and I can't wait to get a Picard of Star Wars. I need it.
We already got the Deep Space Nine. That was 1 through 3. I feel like that was the worst.
My dad loves Deep Space Nine. Do not say that near him. You will get killed. My dad loves that show. Hey man, that's the thing though. Different strokes, different folks. You can hate Deep Space Nine and love Next Generation, and I can, you know what I mean? And Star Wars needs that. I mean, it will get that now, hopefully, because people won't have all the expectations that come with the Skywalkers. So yeah, this was probably a longer episode than normal for cutscenes going forward. We'll probably do closer to movie reviews instead of dissections. But Star Wars is so huge, and we wanted to talk about it, and now we have talked about it. In the future, I know we're going to talk about The Gentleman. We could probably talk about Bad Boys as well. But we could probably bundle those into the same episode. Or just do one 30-minute episode at a time instead of one 2.5-hour episode. But that's going to do it for tonight, unless anybody has anything else to add.
Nope.
Dope. Zing, tell people how they can find you outside of obviously this show and these episodes going forward.
So I am on Twitch and Twitter at Almighty Zing. Not really Instagram or anything like that. So just those two.
That works. Perfect. Anything that you're like, any events or anything that you're like doing or having planned for the stream that you want to talk that you want to brag about yet?
I kind of mentioned I'm going through Kakarot. You guys had talked about backlogs recently on I think last week's episode, and
Mm-hmm.
I finally finished GTA 5 story mode.
That's a fucking
After
thing.
6 years or whatever it's been. And I kind of have Ryan to thank for that because he got me into the online, and then I just kind of transitioned to that. So
I want to play that online so much more.
So it's got so much more to do, but. Seeing Sonic on Saturday, pretty excited for that.
Yeah, I didn't get a pre-screen offer for that, so tell me how it is.
Yeah, I just got a GoFobo screening thing.
Nice.
Yeah, so
nice.
Be good.
Dope. You can find me everywhere it's important at Lubwub. You can find all the information about our website and our podcasts at nerdybits.com. Ryan, where can people find you, my dude?
Sergeant Sodium on Mixer, Twitter, Instagram, and Xbox.
Dope. I'm going to stay streaming after this to play some Disintegration. The closed beta ends at like 2 a.m., so we'll get about an hour of that. And then after that, I might still stay on. I might not. I got to work tomorrow at like noon, so I can sleep a little bit. Thanks for listening, everybody. And thanks for hanging out for so fucking long. And we will have this episode up for you on Friday. And we will catch you guys next week. Zing, thanks for coming on, dude.
Yeah, no problem.
Adios, everybody, and stay cool.
Toodles.
What's the cutscenes motto? Turn your phone off or get fucked. It works so well. I'll catch you guys in a minute.